spoon. You from Vanjama, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat kepa, congratulate my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, 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 kilibamba. What I want? This one you got today. School TV. School. This one you got today. School. School TV. School.
From the CEO, stand home with the spoon. And your boy, right at the South Bend. Charges on the beat.
On the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moravia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. To spoon.
You from the South Bend. Charges on the beat.
On the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moravia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. To spoon. You from Vanjama, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat kepa, congratulate my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, 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 kilibamba. What I want?
Okay, folks, we'd like to say a pleasant good evening to all of you across Liberia. Welcome. Welcome to another great edition of the program Spoon Talk. We're here live on Spoon 107.5 FM. We're live on Fabric Radio 101.1 FM, and you can catch us on www.spoonfmradio.com. The program is live on Spoon TV Live, Fabric TV Live, Super TV Live, and also on YouTube, Spoon Talk Live. We want to say welcome to another edition of the program. My name is Nelson Colette, of course. Let me now welcome Dr. Richardson tonight on this edition of Spoon Talk. Good evening, Dr. Richardson.
Nelson, hello, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm okay. We're grateful to be alive. God money us.
Absolutely, it's great to see you today. I would say happy Tuesday to you and many of our viewers, our audience that are watching us on all of the different networks that you mentioned. It's good to be here. Um, any news going on? What's going on? Where's James? Where's James today?
James is going to be joining us shortly. Yeah, he went
He's,
out.
no worries.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
He's gonna
worries.
be joining us.
He's
Yeah.
coming. Yeah. So many of our panelists are also going to be joining us shortly. Nelson and I are here starting the show. We respect your time. We don't want to keep you waiting. So we are here. On my side of my end of the world, Nelson, it is rather cold outside, as you probably know.
Okay.
It is winter over here. We have not gotten a lot of snow so far. Part of the winter I was in Liberia, so I appreciated, having a couple of weeks away from here when it's cold. I was enjoying sunny Liberia. Um, but I really didn't go outside today. I have the ability to work from home where I can Zoom and do all my meetings and see my clients right from my office, my home office here. So very rarely am I out, except when I go out to teach, which I'm blessed enough to have the opportunity to be able to do that. I could go out once a week to teach 2 classes after paying my dues at the university for about 19 years. So, this is what comes with paying your dues, starting off at the bottom, and then when you rise to at least the top, you can, don't have to go to work every day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the good old boy says, "Work wise, it is day." Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, but I think in terms of the weather situation, we have the complete contrary of what you are experiencing on that side in that part of the world. We have a very hot weather here.
I love it.
Yeah, because it's a dry season. So some months back, a
Mhm.
lot of people were complaining that, "Oh, the rain is too much. I want to go here. I want to do this. Oh, the rain falling." But now, in some communities now, the wells are getting dry.
Oh, wow.
Um, yeah, so it's hot here. It's we have
Yeah.
a different weather all here by
You know,
itself.
it's the heart of a man. We're never happy. Just
Yeah,
here when it's cold, we all complain it's too cold, and then during the summertime, it's too hot. It's too hot. So when it's rainy season like beer, everybody be like, "Oh, it's raining, it's raining."
yeah,
When it's dry season, everybody be like, "It's hot, it's hot, it's hot."
yeah,
I'm concerned is the well that are drying up. I'm concerned about that. I hope that that doesn't become a thing, or maybe it has been a thing in Liberia. I don't remember um that.
yeah. It has been that way. So in some communities, the
Mhm.
wells go dry for
Okay.
when we get in the in the in the in the heat of the
Yes.
dry season, the
Yes.
wells go dry. But it doesn't happen everywhere because some people live in the
Yes.
the
Yeah. The
swammy
it,
area, the wet areas, and some of the places are not swammy like that. But I think there's some sort of explanation the environmentalists have for it that the water line and all those different things, which I don't have the technical details for. But yeah, so in other areas it's
mhm.
normal. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
normal. Even during the dry season, they still get access to water as
Yeah.
any other time of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense because I remember growing up and going on a farm, which is near the Wela area in Magibi County, and during the dry season, the water would be kind of low. It
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't
Yeah,
like the creek water would be just really nice and comfortable. And then when it rain a lot, it kind of rises up.
yeah,
So it's probably the same thing because we used to use the creek water. Of course, we have well there, but we used to use the creek water for showering and just to have fun. Is so much fun when you can take a stick bath in the
yeah.
creek. You know, I miss those days.
And the Regency still remembers all those.
I do. Those were very, they impacted my memory a lot. Impacted
Wow.
me, and I think it kind of made me who I am today as a person. Just all of
Mhm.
this awesome memory. Yeah. So what's going on in Monrovia?
Ah, well, huh. A lot of things happening in the country today. So
Lot
many
of
things. A lot of things. So
things.
many things happening in Liberia today.
I bet Nelson it was hard to keep up with them, huh?
Oh yeah, yeah. some of some of some of the happenings at times it gets us, even those of us following the news, laughing, and sometimes there's this emotional side of it as well. So the first one has to do with the an action, that a decision that was reached today by the traditional council of Liberia, represented uh by the 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 chiefs and elders, that's the traditional council, the head of the traditional council, Chief Zanzan Kawa.
Hmm.
Today there was this commemoration of International Day of Zero Tolerance for Female Genital Mutilation. It
Thank you
was
for
it.
mentioning that. I read that and I was going to speak about that. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Go ahead.
So
Tell us about that. That's a very important news, audience. Listen.
yeah, so this has been a long-standing situation. There have been discussions about it. The national government has tried to make some interventions. At some point, you hear complaints from other parts of the country that this thing it
Nelson,
hinders.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. So it was
Mhm.
the day of zero tolerance for female genital circumcision. That's what
Yeah,
every female genital mutilation or
yeah,
circumcision, the grow bush in some time or the Senate bush. That's how we can actually call it in Liberia. So
yeah,
yeah, I just wanted to make sure Liberians were clear on what we're talking about.
yeah, definitely. So so there has been a long discussion trying to maybe make some changes in the way they go about the practice, and there has been this stiff resistance from some folks in the rural parts of the country. They see it differently. They think that there shouldn't be any intervention with respect to how they go about the activities, but um, as they were observed this day, the traditional council in our country reached a decision today to ban the practice in Liberia. And another thing that happened is that the cultural ambassador, Judy Andy, aside from just what the Chief Zansan Kawa said, the cultural ambassador further elaborated on it by saying that um, the ban is not on the what they call the gravel bush. The ban is on um, female circumcision. All
Correct.
right, so they will do their regular, cultural practices, but it will be void of female circumcision that has been a part of what they do. So they also talked about some rituals that they're going to be carrying on following the ban. So that gathering was today in rural Montserrat County, but they are saying that there's going to be some consultations with other traditional leaders in other parts of the country, so that those people can be able to perform the different rituals, and then they can at least agree permanently to bring that to a close. But what this decision means is that moving forward, uh, female circumcision is going to be prohibited, and I understand that even the legislature is going to come up with some sort of law that would set punishments, or so for people who may be caught in, this practice. So that's
Yes.
one of the things that a lot of people are talking about today on the news.
Nelson, please allow me to just speak about this issue briefly, because I know you have other news to talk about, but this is to me a very, very landmark decision, and also a historical decision in Liberia, because it addresses two things. It addresses the beauty of the Senate bush, the beauty of the cultural bush, our
Hmm.
culture, that will allow women to continue to do the things like talking about womanhood, bonding, singing songs, whether it's teaching them about their own body, femininity, and all of those things. I think happen in, for lack of a better word, the Senate Bush, the Senate Society. I think it was a beautiful thing. When I speak, I have friends who went through this process, and they talk about singing under the moonlight,
Hmm.
learning how to beat rice. They talked about some older women teaching them how to fennerize, dance a certain way, take care of their body. And those things I think are just awesome things. They are good things that, promote final womanhood. Um, but on the other hand, what I think was banned, which was the practice of cutting or mutilating the genitals. I'm sorry, children, if you're watching, the female part of a woman, because somebody historically said that if we do that, we would cut off the nerves and the desire of a woman to want to be sexual. Okay, so the reason why they cut that nerve, and biologically, when that's where um, pleasure comes from for a woman, for some women, in addition to other things. And so when you dismembered, or when you remove that part, she can't have the experience of pleasure anymore. And somebody along the line, perhaps a man, figured that if I did that, I would make her committed to me only. She not want to experience. She experiences pleasure. She may be promiscuous. She may cheat on me, and what have you. So that part was stopped. And this is so important to me because, not only from Liberia, as a psychologist, one of my number one um, psychological effects of women that I see are women who have engaged in experience FGM. Usually, when they transfer and come to this country, they continue to suffer the trauma. Just imagine somebody dismembering your body part, and also somebody saying to you, you can't experience any pleasure. Okay, and so they continue to experience that. They have these nightmares about that happening to them when they were 6, 10 years old, and then worst of all, these women then go to have children, and gynecologists, other medical doctors, students get to see that this member part. It can be very shamey for women. So, and this is not only Liberian women. This happens to women all around the world. I see women from Asia, different parts of Africa, some parts of South America. So this is a historical decision. I like how they kept the cultural piece. This is how good decisions are made. Keep the pieces that are good for us as a society, and get rid of the pieces that are painful for us. So thank you for bringing up that news. I read that. I also read that LU girls, the girls that took the entrance exam, I don't know if you saw that in the news, that the women are doing well in the entrance exam. They are just catching up and doing just as well as men. So did you see that?
No, I didn't come across that
Yeah,
today.
tomorrow,
Yeah.
look, check it out. Tomorrow, I read somewhere that the women that are taking the entrance exam, I believe for LU, are doing just as well as the men. Historically, men have always passed more than the passing rate was higher for women, but those girls are catching on. Girls are catching on.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And,
Uh-huh.
and Dr. Richardson, one of the things that I've noticed over the time is that even in the classrooms here in Liberia,
Mhm.
you notice that you take, for example, high schools, the females are more than the males. for some time I've observed that even at university, yeah, the females are in the majority. So I think they're going a step further now by performing as compared to the males. That will not be the please do my assignment thing because you're a man, and this is math, and the reading subject is for the women.
No, shouldn't be that like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's something for us to look through. I'm sure our education sector look at the ratio of boys and girls in
yeah.
our country. So yes, but I just read that. I was like, wow, I'm so impressed. Kudos to those women who are taking that exam at LU and impressing on. So yes, and good
Yeah.
historical decision made by the traditional council of like Liberia. So
Mhm.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So another one today again is that the National Elections Commission have threatened to sanction political parties, individuals, alliances, coalitions, any political establishment that gets involved into pre-campaign activities. That's a strong warning that was sent out today by the National Elections Commission, and this comes from the backdrop of some activities we've been seeing in the country quite recently, um, from the We Are 2023 placards we see throughout the streets to the recent action by the Montreal County District 10 lawmaker when he prepared a banner and posted it somewhere with the inscription Yeke says yes to Joseph Boaka 2023 and Yeke says yes to Kumi's 2023. So all these different things, the National Elections Commission has come up to send a warning, a caveat to the actors. And then finally,
Um,
Councillor. Mhm.
Sarah Nelson, is somebody bring Tomali on? He's in the back.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. I thought I'm used to
Yes.
James
Yeah, I
Green.
just saw his face. Yes, yes, that's okay.
Sorry, sir. Sorry, sir. Chief Sintamalin George. Yeah.
Yeah, yes. Tomali,
Yeah.
welcome to the show. We were just going over the current event for the day, and Nelson was just telling us what happened with NEC uh, threatening to sanction political parties who were engaged in pre-campaign activities, and this was in response to uh, what happened over the weekend with the We Are 2023 banner over the country, as well as Yeka Koluba's banner that he put up on the Capitol Hill. We'll probably be talking about that a little bit more. I think there should be a video. We asked James to show us what happened today on the Capitol Hill. Um, so yeah, Yeka, I mean Nelson, go ahead. You're talking.
Yeah. So yeah, the neck came up with that. But then the final one is that Councillor Tiawon Gonglo has um gotten involved with this whole war of words between the president and Senator Prince Johnson. He's calling on the Liberia Council of Churches to get involved. According to him, he foresees conflict or chaos if there's no intervention from organizations like the Liberia Council of Churches with respect to what's happening between the president and the Senator Prince Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um, Great, interesting news going on in the country. So thank you, Nelson, definitely for updating our audience and updating us as to what's happening. Tomaline, how you doing?
Like Richardson, Nelson, and all our viewers, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Today, I mean, I'm doing well. Today is just a little emotional for me. Today is the birthday of my late father, and we're very close to him. And whenever this day comes, I always have a reflection about our relationship and his life on earth. But besides that, I'm doing fine, and hope you guys are doing well too.
Mhm.
Uh, I know you guys talked earlier about this traditional stuff.
Mhm.
You know, my kid's grandmother, the late Mrs. Phyllis Guman Kima. I know she's smiling in her grave today because she was one of the she was one of the strong advocates. She founded the group called National Association Against Traditional Practices Affecting the Health of Women, NAPA, and she fought hard against female genital mutilation and harmful practices against the female. She fought all her life when she was Minister of Health, and then after she retired, she continued this fight and to ensure that this harmful practice became eliminated from our young women and girls. And it affected a lot of women today. A lot of girls are being affected by such, and I'm so happy that we are having our national discourse now because she fought hard for it, very hard, and happy that I'm sure she's smiling in her grave that her fight, her struggle is coming to fruition, that we eliminate such harmful practices, from our traditional life. And so our young girls and women that's coming up in our interior part of our country, we'll get rid of such a thing. The argument that some people believe is culture, but you all know it's not culture. It's harmful stuff, and it's just not good, And some people they became victim of it because they were young and they had no choice. But we're happy that as people get more educated and things improve, these practices will be eliminated. And that's what we see happening. And just also as you gave I think I just sent you, there's a communication between the two ministers, problem happening at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And my understanding is that have been an ongoing thing for years. Minister Kemenya and his deputy Henry Famule, they've been on this fight. And my thing is that I'm sure the president is aware of it, and I don't know why up to now they have not putting this thing to an end, because Minister Kemenya, he traveled with the president of Cote d'Ivoire, and he left a memo saying that the deputy for administration, Madam Comfort Sawyer, should act, but whereby it's in the handbook of Foreign Affairs Ministry that in the absence of the foreign minister, the deputy minister of Foreign Affairs, who is Famula, should be acting. But you see, they're having two separate memos going on, and it's chaotic. I wonder how the workers at Foreign Affairs, I wonder what they are going through, how they are feeling, because two separate memos, who are on them. But besides that, I think we will discuss other training issues and everything will include that. So let's go ahead.
Yeah. Tomali, I want to just extend our concerns and positive energy to you on this difficult day. Take courage. We your colleagues here at Spoon, thinking about you. So I know how difficult it is, when you have to reflect on your parents on this day. So we're thinking about you. Okay. All right. Thank you. We're gonna go. We have an agenda today for you. We'll be talking about training issues, and we're expecting a guest, not confirmed yet, but we will be switching over as soon as it gets confirmed, and I'll let you know more information about that. I want to welcome Kef Hassan to the show. Kef Hassan, welcome. Do you have anything to say before we welcome our guest? I didn't get a chance to do that yet. That's one of my favorite things to do here.
No.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Kef. So let me just go ahead and just spend about 5 minutes, or even less, welcoming our guests over. Again, you could have been doing a myriad of things, many, many things, but you made a decision to be here with us on Spoon today. We are thankful. We're happy that you're here. And please join us, share the show, talk, come and comment, make some comments here about what you like, what you don't like, your own position on issues. We appreciate it. This is democracy here at Spoon, and diversity wins at all time. Your diversity of thoughts wins here. So I'd like to welcome Ambassador Newton Emmanuel. Oh my goodness, this thing gets to go so fast. Okay, I'm going to switch over to, I'm going to welcome Christian King, Emmanuel Jackson from Boston. Amar Kamara is also here. Elizabeth Pakatia is watching as well. Ambassador Newton Emmanuel Harris is watching. Roland Twer is watching from Nairobi, Kenya. Welcome, Roland, and all of those who are in Kenya, Liberians and other nationals. Randall Thomas is also here. Thank you for being here. Rebecca Tyre is watching from Pennsylvania. Rebecca, thank you. Albert Hunter is here. He said, "Good evening, my people." Eddie Santiago. Hold on, Eddie. Your name just went up so fast. I'm going to get it. Eddie San Diego Salari Sapper is watching from Spain. We got Kenya. We got Spain. I like that. Cutting Edge Climb is here watching. Bill Netti is also watching. Wilma St. Nuggles is watching from Minnesota. All of the Liberians who are in Minnesota, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you being on the show today. November King is watching. Vita Peabody is watching from New York City. Thank you very much. November King actually is watching from Sinker. He said 20th Street to be precise. Thank you for joining us from 20th Street, Sinker. Nice. Anthony Tage is here from Providence. All the Liberians in Providence. Providence was an old Liberia welcoming home. So we want to welcome all of you who are in Providence, all the Liberians in Providence who welcome you to the show. Thank you for being here with us. Japna Naya Gate, please don't kill me for pronouncing your name. Mr. Gate, I would say, is watching us. He says, Ambassador Newton, thank you. Clarence Benson is also watching from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. We got Canada, we got Liberia, in Liberia watching us. We got Kenya is watching us as well. So we're thankful for that. We got Tay Makasi is watching from the UAE. All hands up for the UAE. Thank you for watching us and joining us. We got Ontario, we have UAE, we got Kenya. I appreciate you being here from the UAE, and all Liberians who are watching us from the UAE. I want to tell you hello and thank you very much. Dotu is also watching us. CJ Johnson is from Hawaii. Oh, wow, Hawaii. That's very nice. Very, very nice. We got someone watching us all the way from Hawaii. Liberians in Hawaii, thank you very much. Albert Hunter, Kwana S. Beeman is watching. Thank you. Gabriel W. Henry is also watching us. Akeem Cassius Ta is watching us. He says hello to all his Spoon family members. Jala Kamusu is watching from Philadelphia. Jala Kamusu, thank you. Kincento Sabu Wright is watching. Thank you very much for watching. Ignatius Otis Akinton is watching from Minnesota. Ignatius, thank you for joining us. And Regina William is watching. I want to just tell all of you, thank you for watching. I'm calling your name in no particular order. We appreciate that you are being here today. So guys, we welcome our guests. We want to thank them for watching. We want to ask them to please share the show. And we appreciate you for being here. And we're going to go into just welcoming you guys. Kev and also Timalin, what's on your mind? You guys, this is an opportunity for you to just open the show by just telling us what is on your mind today. We'll start with you, Timalin, and then Kev, and then I will tell you what's on my mind today.
Well, like first thing, I'll come back again to this this fight between the two ministers at Foreign Affairs, Minister Kemaya and his deputy Henry Famula. I don't think is good for our foreign ministry. I think is about time, and that fight been going for a long time. I'm informed, and I don't know up to now. And in election year, I really don't think I don't see it being resolved, except the president intervenes and decide to either settle it or remove them. Somebody remove one of them from the ministry, but because it brings they confuse the employees that they have to, because you have two memos from the two top ministers, the deputy and the minister proper. Minister Kemian to at least there's a statute in the ministry. It's all there that when he leaves the ministry, the deputy for foreign affairs should act. So I don't know why would he be leaving out and leaving with Deputy Minister Sawyer. I don't think it's appropriate, but again, that's where they are. Another thing is that I know I saw the signing ceremony today at the CDC headquarters, I think, but I did not see the chairman of the MPP, James Biney. But I know that I was informed that two-thirds majority of the National Executive Committee of the MPP approve of the coalition document be signed, but he didn't sign. I don't know why he wasn't present. He didn't sign. So it appears that there might be a divided MPP, because I'm sure he has his own his faction, because there are people I know that are following him. He's not alone, and other people that are following the others. I was told that Andrew Peters, one of the executives, he was made to sign and at the signing ceremony today. So I know that. So they said that the coalition have been signed. They have that coalition now in place, but with Tyler now on board, the political leader of the LPDP and so forth, I don't know what's happening, but I hope in the coming days they can trash all the differences and get everyone on board. To see Tyler and Barney and all others from the NPP and the LPDP all on board and get it going. But on paper now and with the NEC, I'm sure they're aware that they have a coalition now, and so they're going. So, but we'll see what happens in the coming days. And also, I saw Yeke displaying banners today. But coming to the NEC.
That whole Yeke on
okay. But okay. Yeah, but so, but for now, I will stop there. Yeah, let me stop there.
Okay. Kefasa, anything on your mind? We just discussing what our
that's right. Had a signing ceremony today at the party headquarters, and then I always say, I know it's politics, I know it's election year, but sometimes it's good to look beyond election for educational purpose, that our people should understand how political party constitution work and how government work, and how other country, like place like America that we live in, that we do have the same formation of government works. There's what they call the affordable health care in America, which called the Obamacare, that a lot of Americans enjoying today, but it was not majority of the lawmakers signed. But the same thing that we get, if 2/3 sign, it become law. So what happened today? I know political pundits will want to spin it and say, "Oh, maybe by banning sign," but their constitution said 2/3 sign. That's the majority, and if the majority sign, then the political leader obliged to sign it into law. So that's what the vice president did today. She followed the law. She followed the law. We saw what happened within the Liberty Party. Musa Ability followed the law in the Liberty Party. He followed the law. And we saw what happened against the political leader at that time. And the Supreme Court backed Musa Ability. So the law is the law. And if Musa Ability, if the Supreme Court can back Musa Ability, and then we understand that the framework document was signed today because 2/3 of the NPP signed it. It is a law that binding within the NPP. There's no way about it. I think we owe that to our people to say in the formation of our government, in our constitution, and in the constitution of political party, 2/3 is a majority and it's a law. That's for now.
Okay, great. I'm sure we're going to discuss this. I want to welcome Minister Fagon to the show. Minister Fagon, I'm just going to mention my piece about what's on my mind, and then we'll go on to you, discuss what's on your mind. We do have an agenda here to follow. We're going to be discussing the campaign banners that were mounted by Yeke Kaloba today, in light of the campaign posters that were also put at the Capitol building. We're going to also talk about the Magibi Healthcare money saga that is going on. I believe that we have a tape. Hopefully, we'll be able to share that with you guys. And then, there's more conversation about the signing ceremony that many can talk about. We also know that Vice President Boca is in the country. I mean, he's actually in the United States. We do have questions as to the presidential appearance of the vice president in the United States. We can talk about it as well. And of course, there's others developing news we'll be able to discuss. But Tamale brought us something very interesting that sort of just you kind of made me interested in the topic of what is happening with Kemaya and his deputies. And you said that there's a handbook at the ministry that specifically tell the employees when the minister is leaving who is supposed to be in charge. But the minister, from what you're saying, is bypassing the handbook and going and selecting somebody else based on his feelings. And to me, it breaks down to personal versus professional. When we start acting on our personal and bypassing handbook, we leave it open for anything to happen at a ministry, like as opposed to using the handbook where it keeps structure. Everybody know what is expected of them. So that's just something that sort of kind of provoked my interest a little bit. I'm just wondering, like, if I were I usually have a rubric that I grade by. This is what keeps me structured. I have a syllabus. If I were just to go on my personal feeling about how I want to grade or how I want to teach, our school won't have any standards. So this is why handbooks are written for people to have standards, to follow standards. So that just sort of provoked my thought when you were talking, Tamale. I'm going to now go over to you, Mr. Fagon. Basically, you can tell us what's on your mind today.
Thank you, and it's great having me. Let me say good evening to you guys, Dr. Francine and Tamale Nyewulu George, the saint, and at the same time, he's a chief. I don't know how a godly person operates with traditional practices. But having said that, I came here, the first thing my ear grabbed, we saw that with Bility, Chairman Bility, and Nyombli. Well, that made my day. It made me happy that at least someone knows that in the constitution of every political party, it says that the chairman of the party runs the day-to-day activities of the party, and he is the one responsible to schedule meetings, not the vice president. So in this case, vice president called a meeting in the absence of the chairman, and the vice president signed a major agreement on behalf of the party with the chairman of another party. She is supposed to be, I said supposed to because she isn't, she is supposed to be the political leader. So she's supposed to be signing agreements with who? Chairman or another political leader? Oh my God, This is the sweetest thing I've ever seen in my life. Officer Vinegar will not wait to throw this thing out. Oh my God.
Because sometimes you can be so dramatic. I can't help myself from laughing.
It helps the show.
Yes, go ahead. I know, I understand. Go ahead.
Political leader signing agreement, not with another political leader, but with the chairman of another party. Political leader call a meeting instead of, according to law, the chairman that's supposed to do that. As in the case of Belete and Nyong'li. What a giveaway. What a giveaway. Just those 2 points alone. Let alone 2 interesting videos that we will introduce. One show under duress. The other shows a complete disconnect. That we signing when the president come by, then we sit down, we know how many people are supposed to be here. How did you sign this agreement? We will introduce 2 videos as evidence that there is a desperate movement for Jewel Howard Taylor. Not President Weah. If you knew it was important, you are going to take care of it since October of last year. So, again, I'm not going to take a whole day. No. Political leaders sign agreement with party chairman. Political leader call meeting, not the party chairman. That same group that Jewel commanded was the same group she commanded. And they went to the Supreme Court. What was the ruling there? Go back. He's the chairman. Then you leave here a group up. And you come back and do the same thing. It's OVEN. It's OV. This one is OVEN. There's no debate about it. It's OVEN.
Okay, OVEN, Oven. It's over. Okay, that's what we gotta educate our people. It's over. It's not over. Amen. Okay. So, you know, it could be argued, Fagon, that 2/3 of the executive members signed the framework agreement. And although the political leader...
We had no money for campaign. MPP went out across the length and breadth of this country, and we campaigned. We never asked for anything. We said when we win...
Now, one of the video there, the team, yeah, inside too disturbing.
Okay,
that's all I can say. That's just one of the 2 that will be making our case on when we come to that topic tonight.
That's correct. So, okay. So let us just inform the audience that it could be argued that 2/3 of the executive members signed a framework agreement, although perhaps the political leader didn't sign, disagreed. But if it is true that 2/3 of the executive members signed the agreement, then they signed. So please consider that into your answer. Although the political leader have the clout, though, I did understand what you're saying, but
yes, the 2/3 according to her, right?
Okay,
but
so
let's assume that they did. Who
Okay.
calls the meeting? Who runs the activities of the party?
The political leader,
The chairman. The Supreme Court rule. The chairman.
Okay. The chairman.
That's how they did with Nyong'li and the other man. That's what they would do to them too.
You are right. It's the chairman who runs the day-to-day operation of the party.
Yes,
Okay.
not the political leader.
Yes. Okay. Good. All right. So now let's move on to our topic for the day. James, can you also put Yeke video on, because that's the first topic that we're going to be discussing. Yeke's experience today.
While waiting for Gene to put that video on, but again, back to this and this document, this coalition stuff. Mm-hmm. I just read on the page of Attorney George Morba. He was a guy sits on the left of Madam of the Vice President. Mm-hmm. He said that according to their MPP constitution, 2/3 the highest is majority. So when they take the vote, but the chairman needs to sign. The chairman did not sign. He said, but if the chairman, if he refuses to sign, he will be the one. They come to him not to sign, and if he signs, apparently from what I'm reading from his post, it become binding. That means it become legal. Yeah, that's John Marba, the guy on the left, Attorney Marba. Yeah, he says according to he said if the chairman refuses to sign, he will sign. They come to him. If he sign, it become binding and it become legal. But then the question is, let's see when it gets to the NEC, National Elections Commission, if there will be any kind of a hurdle there to either to accept or reject the document. But the MPP constitution, according to Attorney Marba, is called for two-third majority, and two-third majority voted to join the coalition. So
Tomali, you know the problem there, Tomali. It's not about the two-third. Do not focus on the two-third. Do not focus on the two-third. Whose responsibility it is to call that kind of meeting, to run the party? Whose responsibility? Who calls the executive to a meeting?
The national chairman. The chairman now.
The chairman. But that did not happen. In law, what is to be is to be. You don't do it and say after the fact. No. It is the chairman who is supposed. That's the problem Nyombli had with Belete when she called her lady on the side with the party chairman, if you remember.
No, but
she said they signed.
The difference there is that with the MPP, what it's saying that, as I'm reading from this guy, he said the two-third majority.
That's what I'm saying. Yes. How does the two answer my question, Tomali? I'm asking Tomali, how does the two-tier get together? Who called them to the meeting? Who presided over the meeting? I don't worry about the two-tier. Who called the meeting? Who presided over the meeting? Was it the chairman? That's what I want to know from you.
I mean, we don't know, but they may have met and reached that decision. Maybe, perhaps, or in addition.
We got an interesting place. 2/3 of the executive committee signed, but Falcon is asking who called the meetings. The chairman is responsible for calling the meeting. So if the chairman says he didn't call the meeting, did the meeting happen? That's the question. Kef Hassan, go ahead.
You see, Dr. Richardson, you heard what Tomlin said. It's within the Constitution. The absence of the chairman, who next? He's a lawyer, right, Tomlin?
Attorney John Marba.
So it's the Constitution that the absence of the
that's what the lawyer who signed the document posted. So we can.
No, he didn't sign. He made a post. Sorry, he didn't sign.
Marba
is listen, Dr. Richardson, can you control the?
No, don't put me in trouble. It was a post.
Dr. Richardson,
he made a post.
Yes.
Dr. Richardson, explain it, but he said if the chairman don't sign, then it goes to him.
I thought you said I should speak.
What? Yes. Hold on. I'm sorry. I was just responding.
Yeah, I think you said I should speak.
Yes. Can you please give Kef Hassan the opportunity?
Yeah, but I'm a friend. I don't want to put my friend in trouble. The man is signed nothing. The man posted something.
Wait, yes, you'll come back to respond to that.
Don't put my friend in trouble, please.
The gentleman. The gentleman that signed, that's the same gentleman post?
Yeah, no, that Andrew Peter, but John Marba is the one who, if the chairman don't sign, he will sign. He wants
Thank
to
you.
sign.
Who is John Marba?
Let me post the post in the chat room, okay?
Yeah, but who signed? What's the name signed?
I think Andrew Peter is Secretary General.
He signed, right?
Yeah, I think he's the one I signed today with the Vice President.
Okay, he's the appropriate man to sign.
I don't know though. I don't know. I'll just follow what
according to the Constitution, right?
Oh, somebody, MPP man.
What are you saying? Dr. Peabody.
Let's please protect. Kef, you are protected. Kef is protected.
Listen. I don't think people should come on the show on a weekdays drunk and start to interrupt.
Kef, look at my eyes. Do I load a drink?
Let's keep it civil, please, gentlemen.
Kef, look at my eyes. Good. Do I load a drink?
Yeah, we can't. This is not a drunken show, man, or smoking show.
Yeah. Let's stick to the issues. We're going back to the issues.
Yeah, if you don't control it, I will have no right to say something because
just say you protect.
You control me, you mute me.
You coming to come talk to me now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
man. this is not a show of people you smoke and drink and come and come.
All right, Kev, please let's go back to what you are saying. Okay, Minister Falcon, please just let's give Kev the opportunity to make his point. Please go ahead, Kev. We are listening.
Listen, according to their constitution, in the absence of the chairman, the right person sign. And we cannot not focus on the 2/3. That's the law. It's the same thing with the Liberty Party, 2/3. We cannot. So how can we look at 2/3, which is the constitution, and say no? So let's say, can the chairman sign a document with this person without 2/3 vote? Can the chairman of the NPP or the political leader that sign without 2/3? No, you cannot. The power is given to the EC. They will vote 2/3 to sign and it become law. So in the absence of the chairman, the rightful person sign, it become law, it binding. That's what the lawyer post. Finished.
Okay. Thank you.
So we should not use politics to twist the head. Imagine if Buffer Chimo that sign and say without 2/3, that sign and the president sign, the whole country will be on fire.
So, but
2/3 is the majority. Majority carry the rules. It's majority.
Thank you.
Yeah, America is the same thing.
Thank you very much, Kev.
And I think it's upon you for us to clear the air that 2/3 is the way our formation of government works.
So it is important for me to clear the air by saying there are two positions on the floor for discussion right now. One, Minister Falcon is saying that a meeting was not called. A meeting needs to be called by the chairperson in order for 2/3 of documentation to be signed. And
that's a lazy argument.
If you see you interrupting me now, yeah, you telling me I interrupted you.
That a man quit to cry, but he not 12 people. He quit to cry, but he's 12 people all the time.
Okay, so the argument is there's two arguments. One proposed by Mr. Falcon says that the chairperson has to call the meeting. But if the chairperson didn't call the meeting, then the meeting did not happen in some circumstances. Kev is saying it does not matter if the chairperson called a meeting or not. 2/3 of the executive committee signed the document, therefore an agreement occurred. Those are the arguments on the floor right now. Mr. Peabody, Dr. Peabody, welcome very much to the show. Here we are. Any thoughts? We are discussing the agreement that happened today. Is it a coalition or is it the Congress that petitioned President Weah for his second term? Coalition or Congress? Your thoughts?
I wouldn't want to get into the whole thing, but I think this arrangement didn't appear to me as a consensus. The consensus of everybody talk about 2/3, but then when you speak to some of the key folks involved, Barney, Tyler, others, they have other reservation in regards to this. So what I think here is the folks, it's a little bit shady. It didn't really appear like a real group, consensus where everybody agree. When you work together as a team and everybody's on board, it appear more together. But for what my own personal evaluation of this is that it's a lot of things lacking. It's a lot of disagreement. It's a lot of bad blood on the other side. So they were signed about 2/3, but it's just shaky to me, stuff. I don't want to say whether it's a coalition, but I think it's just something lacking that that was not really put together, because if you don't have the chairman of the party that there and all of that, this something there should have been a colorful movement. There should have been a moment where folks will get together and hug each other and assure each other, that victory is coming and all of that. But this really seemed like people were under pressure to do certain things and to, So I think I have some reservation, even though they lost it to Tip, but I mean I have reservation.
Yes. And so if you're just joining us, we are discussing who petitioned President Weah. Is it the coalition as we saw it in 2017, or is it the Congress for Democratic Change? Some people are believing, in the name of Mr. Fagon, said that the chairperson of the party is expected to call a meeting for any signature ceremony to be carried out. And Kef Hassan, on the other hand, is believing that 2/3 signed an agreement, so it is a agreement. We have Dr. McIntosh on the phone right now with us. I want to welcome Dr. McIntosh, who is on the phone. He was there when the coalition was signed. Agreement was signed. So he's going to tell us more. He's going to expand. I want to welcome you, Dr. McIntosh, to the show. Thank you very much for joining us. Can you tell us what you know about this signature business?
Well, anyway, thank you very much. And our mind and heart and soul up there with your team. On that particular question, I do not know about the revised one, the one that perhaps came out yesterday or today. But I do know the framework under which the agreement was authentic. Let me just use it that way. There were 3 signature slots on the original, the one that was done the time I was involved. And the 3 signatures were the chairperson of the party, the secretary general, and the political leader. So that afternoon when we presented the paper, which I read to the world, we then put it on the table right in front of everybody at the press conference, and the three parties, 3 representatives, each took their turn and signed the signature page and initialed the pages in the document. That was the protocol at that time. But it's been a long time. I'm no longer. So that I'm not saying I'm not aware of the current one that was signed. Perhaps it did picture as the first page. That's my knowledge of it.
Thank you so much for providing some clarity to this matter. Dr. McIntosh is saying when he was involved in the signing of the agreement, there were 3 signatories. One was the chairperson, the second was the secretary general of the party, and third was the political leader when he was involved in this process. So we're going to now go on while Dr. McIntosh is here, just in case you guys have questions for him or any comments. We'll go on to Timalin. Timalin, can you speak?
Yeah, good afternoon, good evening, Dr. McIntosh. I pray and hope you are in good health and all is well with you at the end. But Dr. McIntosh, my question is,
can somebody make that stop wearing echo in the back?
My question is, with the document in this present form that was signed today at the Secretary General of the MPP signed, Andrew Peter, he signed for the MPP, and so forth. Now, if this document is presented to the National Elections Commission in this present form, will it be accepted or will it be rejected by the NEC?
No. First of all, I don't follow it. I have no fish to boil, and so I'm not it. is going to be according to the first time we had that document. And what is anything to go by? The second one is an extension. But of course, with all the things that are going on, a decision could have been reached by the powers or by their own authority to say, this time around, we have 2 signatures per party. They could have done that. But when we arrange this collaboration at the initial stages, we have those 3 signatures attested onto the document. And they were written in the public at the time we announced the formation of the coalition. So this one that took place today, in fact, I am not involved in it, I have not seen it, I'm not part of it. You know, I'm just hearing on the radio myself like everybody else.
For Dr. McIntosh.
Claire?
Kefa-san, any thought questions for Dr. McIntosh?
Well, it's difficult to go into it because Dr. McIntosh he's saying that he don't know if there's a revised document to this, so he's not going to speak on the document right now. So he's speaking on the old document which expired last October. That's what he's speaking on. So I don't think I have question because the argument is on the current document, framework document. That's what he's saying. He's saying that he don't have any idea about it.
Fair enough.
So I can ask question on that because we all know the old document, but he's saying he don't have any idea on the current document. So
yes, fair enough. But I'm happy he just spoke about the history that he knows. So that provides some insight into what we're talking about right now. So thank you, Dr. McIntyre. Minister Fagon, your questions or comments?
Yeah, good evening, Dr. McIntosh. How are you?
I'm fine, my brother. How are you?
Still waiting to see my papi.
No worry, we here too.
I know. Anyway, for the benefit of our public, because what we saw today is not what happened before. So the public needs to know whether one morning a political leader grabbed a secretary general and they hastily put something together and presented it. Tell us how you derive at a document that saw the political leader, the secretary general, and the chairman of the party present. How did you do the first one, for which all of you sat down, all of you were present, compared to the second one that have the hula baloo? Perhaps when you give the public how it was done, then they will have an idea whether this is correct or this is different. Tell us how you did the first one with the individual parties and then all of you coming together.
Well, frankly speaking, the first one was we had initial discussions and there was general consensus on taking that direction. There were 2 issues on the table. Each party will have at least to send to the deck. So you have to have an internal party resolution on the subject matter to resolve that this is what you want to do as a party. Then we convene ourselves with the political leader, the secretary general, the chairperson, and 1 or 2 other officials of the executive committees of each party, and we went over a draft. The draft was prepared, we went over it, we spent hours. When we corrected and people put in their inputs and so forth, we endorsed it in that meeting. Then immediately we proceeded to the headquarters of the Congress for Democratic Change. And at the headquarters, what was endorsed in close to us was now read word. In fact, for the record, I was the person who read it. to the world. Having read it, then the signature page was brought forward along with each page being initial by those three individuals that I just spoke about. The political leader, the chairman of the party, and the secretary general. When they got through signing the document, it became now over. That's what we did. And these first two stages, what I said, there was done in hours, was about 10 o'clock to about 2 p.m. And then we drove from that conference room, from that little working room, straight to press. And that's what we did. And the CDC, the coalition, became a reality.
Thank you very much. I was going to go over to Dr. Peabody, but I see that he's maybe having some technical difficulty here. Okay, Dr. Peabody is not here. But I want to thank you very much. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Dr. McIntosh, before we let you go?
Well, not on the framework document, but I think what I could is, you see, we have to do all the things that we want to have it done so that can be comfortable and move forward. So I think if the confusion not clear enough, that will have some repercussions. But I hope that because it's so I hope that what they have done, if there's any little hitches here and there, they can handle them accordingly. If not, it could raise a whole things down the road, and it could derail a number of other issues, democratic issues. I think that's what I have to add.
Yes.
Let our people know this is a critical year. So we all should do what we can to make sure that Liberia, Mama Liberia, gets what it deserves. Thank you.
Certainly. Can you hang on? It seems like Tommy George has a comment.
Just before we let you go, Dr. McIntosh, we have not heard much from the ANC. Yeah. What's up? What's up with the ANC? I know you supporting Mr. Cummings. What's the latest from the ANC? We have not heard much from the ANC. What's the new development there?
Well,
Dr. McIntosh, we're having difficulty hearing you. Oh, something's going on with our internet system in Liberia. But that's a good question, Timberland. For those of you who are just joining us, and until he joins us back, Dr. McIntosh is a veteran Liberian.
Go ahead, Dr. McIntosh.
Okay, good. Okay, he's
here. I think let's deal with what I was brought in for today, and then when the occasion arises and the time permits, we can discuss the other aspect, because you are right. I'm part and parcel of what's happening on that side.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. I just like to tell you we appreciate all of that you have offered to Liberia thus far. Dr. McIntosh is a veteran statesman, diplomat, and economist, one of our best and finest economists in the country. He was there when the coalition signed their initial documents. This is why he's here to speak to us. He's also is a strategist and a developmental planner. So we have all of this rich resource in Liberia. Thank you so much for clarifying this agreement issue and your experience that you witnessed when you were there, when the coalition was signed initially. And the point that he's trying to tell us is that if we don't do it right now, down the road, there's a possibility where we can have a lot of trouble, like a lot of court cases, a lot of legal issues. And so he's asking us, and he's sharing information that will make sure that this framework document gets signed effectively and appropriately with everyone involved and according to the constitution of the political parties. So thank you so much. Dr. Peabody, I don't know if you had anything for, we're going to let Dr. McIntosh go. if you don't have any other comments or questions for him. I don't
Well,
know.
I just wanted his advice on this. What do you think, Dr. McIntosh? Good to see you, sir. Seems like he left already. Somebody took him out. So.
Okay, good. Yes, but talk about what you are going to ask. If you had an opportunity to ask him a question, what are you going to ask him, Peabody?
What would be his, whether it was the right form thing, the political thing in the political era, a political scientist like him, I would have asked him was it the right thing to do? You know, I would have asked him whether it was, from his own view, was that the right thing to do and all of that. You know, I just want to get his view on it.
Okay, so the right thing to have, whether this 2/3 member of the executive committee sign it is without the chairman signing it. That's what you're asking, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So here we are, audience. We're still struggling to find out, where is the agreement, the framework agreement? Where is it now? Who signed the petition for President Weah? Was it the coalition or was it Congress? This is the answer, the question that we have here. Any last comments, thoughts before we move on to showing the video of Yeke Koluba?
Yes.
Yes. Go ahead.
If we're leaving this topic completely, then I would like for James to play the second video where the vice president is banging on the table.
Okay.
Before I make my comment, because I want to prove beyond all reasonable doubts by argument. I think you listened to Dr. Gabriel McIntosh.
Mm-hmm.
I am a student of political science, all due respect to everybody on the panel. And when I defined duress the other day, I was specific. I said, let's even use the Google definition that has to do with threats, violence, anything you use to influence a person to act against their will, okay, is duress. And we all look at the word, it was applicable. So I wanted James to show the second video, and I make my comment with regards to your question. Because your question is, was it...
So hold up a bit, Mr. Fagon. Tell us what is happening here, because what's Hello. Yes.
Well, I know
your mic on, Dr. Francine. Your mic on. Be careful.
Well,
okay, so let me just flow on to my point I was making. You see, the first thing we need to realize with regards to the question she asked, who nominated the president? Was it the Congress for Democratic Change or the Coalition for Democratic Change? To make my case to you that it was neither or, is what Dr. Gabriel said. The three parties, hear my points and hear it well. The three parties cease to exist when they enter into an agreement and presented themselves as one. After the document expired, NEC wrote them and informed them that their documents expired. Meaning that all three of the parties could either come back as one, or they have to go back to NEC as individuals. Hear me, and that is a fact. Now, because they went in as one, and they cannot go back in now as one, and they had withdrawn themselves to represent themselves as one, it was neither nor. Now, with regards to the nomination, clearly you can see the president got nominated on a what? Saturday. You are a witness. It is today they are signing a framework agreement. Which one comes first? If you don't exist, how can you nominate? How can you have a nomination for the coalition when in an agreement on paper you don't exist. This is the most ignorant thing I've ever seen in my life. In order to have an agreement, you have to exist. But you were not existing. And then you got nominated. After the nomination, today you sign. Meaning there was nomination before agreement. The second thing I want to press on here, you heard Dr. Gawy McIntosh. It's not me. It's a witness testifying from the first agreement. Each individual party went to their meeting and they agreed on what they wanted to do. Then they came back and all of them met and they put the documents together. In this case, and in every other case, the chairman is the one who runs the day-to-day activities of the party. He calls the meeting. We saw it with Chairman Ability, and Chairman Ability won. So Chairman Ability went and carried the paper. Nobody carried the people. Why? Nobody called the people. Nobody got the signatures. But the Supreme Court said it's the chairman that is supposed to do that. He runs the day-to-day activities of the party. In this case, Chairman Barney, for the record, I interacted with him today, was in section. He is not out of the country. Check the records. He went to his law school thing today. From there, he went to session. He's in the country. He's available.
Can he call in?
Pardon me?
Can he call in? Or
Yeah,
tomorrow?
maybe
Okay.
I don't know if you want to participate.
Ronnie, if you are listening, please call in. We appreciate you making some clarification here for us. Thank you very much.
So
Go ahead.
the record will show that he was in the country. He attended session today. Maybe if the guys want to collect a tape and show you, yes. The meeting was called in his absence.
Oh.
Secondly, Dr. Gawier told you 3 people signed the document. The SG, the political leader, and the chairman.
Correct.
In this case, the chairman knows nothing about it. The Secretary General signed under duress. We have the video. Madam VP is no longer, she was made aware of that by the court. She's no longer the standard bearer of the NPP. I think totally nobody here will want to argue.
Okay.
They served 2 terms according to their constitution.
Okay,
And
one more
yes,
minute left. Mr.
Yes, she has served 2 terms. So again, as a student of political science, when I set opposite a person who said, I did nursing, but you don't have an associate degree, you don't have a certificate. When I say I did political science, I have an associate, a bachelor's, and an honors. So if you come to talk to me about nursing and you don't have a certificate,
Mr. Fagon,
it is unfair for you to insult me in my fee as a drunkard
Mr.
and a
Fagon.
smoker. I learned on this note, Madam Moderator.
Thank you.
These are the 4 facts that you should consider. Madam VP is no longer the political leader of the MPP. She has served 2 terms. Her tenure expired. That is a fact, no debate. The Secretary General signed under duress. We played the video of the Vice President banging on the table and urging him to sign. 3, the chairman was not a participant. The chairman did not sign. 4, fact number 4, no political leader signs with the chairman of another party. That is the lowest you can go in the political organization of anything. It's the lowest.
Thank you. So at this point, I'm going to give Kev Hassan an opportunity to speak, and I will urge all of us as panelists to please be respectful. Kev Hassan?
Dr. Richardson, listen, Dr. McIntosh said clearly he is not speaking on the current framework document. That's why I didn't ask him question, because I believe he was called to talk on what happened today, but he distanced himself from what happened today. So I don't think any argument should be on that. 2/3 sign, it's a law, it's a document, framework document, and that's it. End of story. And And two, I'm not going to dignify that kind of talk. You don't have your certificate for nothing, and I do. He saw it himself, but hey, it's part of propaganda. If you want, I can take it from downstairs and show it to the public as I speak right now. If you want, I can go downstairs and take it and show it to the public. I do.
Not
But
necessary. Let's move
yeah,
on.
again,
Personally, let's
but again, and Dr. Richardson,
Mhm.
I think it's you listen to Dr. McIntosh and Dr. Richardson. You heard how well dignified he sound. He said, "I hope they can fix it."
Yeah.
And he's an opposition now.
Okay.
That's what the decent people do. That's what the decent people do. He was a decent man and said, you're fixing. You don't want trouble down the road, but not people who want, because of your own self-inflicted wounds, your self-inflicted wounds that you occur, you damage your own self. Then you want to take the anger and want to just deceive the Liberian people. It's not going to work. Liberia get too much decent people for propaganda and lies to work. Let's continue the show.
Perfect. Thank you. We are going to ask Timberland and Dr. Peabody if they have any final comments before we move on to our next segment of the show. If you're just joining us, we're talking about who signed the petition to ask President Weah to become the standard bearer for the coalition or Congress of Democratic Change.
Well, me?
Yes.
Well, but what I witnessed on Saturday was that when the vice president arrived, the chairman of the LPDP, one of the constituent political party of the coalition, Moses Scully, he nominated President Weah to be standard bearer of the coalition, and it was seconded by the vice president, Madam Taylor. I don't know how it works, but that's what I saw. So the LPDP is part of the coalition, even though the political leader Tyler wasn't present. But the chairman of the party, LPDP, Moses Scully, he nominated the president, and the vice president from the NPP, Madam Taylor, seconded the motion. So, but they were acting with all the signed document at the time. But then later on, Tyler came on the show and said that there were no coalition and so forth. And the president on Sunday too, he blasted them and said, "Look, you guys it would take all you can go with your coalition and so forth, and you can carry your people from the job, and so forth." But that what we see happening. But then today, which have been an official signing ceremony, and Andrew Peter, who's the Secretary General of the NPP, he signed as the vice president urging him to sign, and he signed. But my only question now is, because what happens is that you submit that document to the National Elections Commission. Now, whether NEC will accept it in this present form with all the signature of the chairman, I don't know. But according to Attorney Morba, he said according to what perhaps in their rule, if the chairman refuses to sign the document, then they come in. Now, but from what I saw, he may more likely sign. And if he sign, whatever he signed, NEC will accept it too. So that right now, what we see right now, I believe that it's the ball is in the hands of the NEC. If the NEC will accept the document in its present form, then the story is over. The chapter is over, because once the NEC accepts it, they have a coalition and they will go on. But if not, then it's a problem.
Yes, thank you for your narration, Timberland George. Dr. Peabody, any thoughts on this issue before we move on to our next segment?
Well, let me say here, guys, we want to enjoy this show. So let's make sure we don't go too personal on each other here tonight. Want to make sure we have a great show tonight, guys. But let me say here that, like Germany said, if this document is legal and accepted by the National Election Commission, then that would be it. My only concern here was just the optics of it. I expected to see more big, people knocking on the table, sign, SG sign, this sign, and all of that. That's just not something I expected to see as compared to that of last year. But things happen. They're at different time and different seasons, so things happen. But I expected to see a very colorful, beautiful hawking and knocking bottles and knocking cups, folk, hawking each other and a showing of victory. But you don't want to. Somebody said you don't want to leave your house when you're not happy and everybody not happy. You want to leave your house when everybody's happy, together, a family that are together out there to win. But it seemed like the house was a little bit divided here today. A house divided in itself, it cannot stand. So I hope they work on it and put the act together to ensure. But the optics were just not what I expected to see.
Great points. Tamale and Dr. Peabody, you just kind of summarized exactly what Liberian people would like to hear and see. Tamale talked about perhaps NEC would be the one that would make the final decision on this document issue. And of course, Peabody, went into describing the optics of what that video looked like, the video that was presented by Fagon. We saw people saying SG sign, SG sign, FG sign. And, that's just not what we expected. Like Peabody said, he expected some sort of, professional.
But as a mental show the video small now.
You don't rub it in. We're not watching that video. Then we're moving to our next segment. You got
it. That's how, even in America, that's the way it is. That's a true democratic way. That's the way it is. You watch the State of the Union today, you're going to see the Democrat chanting. By 8 o'clock, you will see the Democrat chanting, and you will see them. You remember what Pelosi did? She took a Trump speech publicly. You saw it, right?
I did see it, and I liked it.
There you go. That's what we do.
The difference that
that's what we do. That's what we do. People want to act like a holy. That's what we do. That's a beautiful thing. But let's come to that yet. Let's come to that.
Yeah.
That's a beauty.
Yeah. Well, I just described. I was enacting what I saw. SG sign. SG sign.
That's a beauty.
And at the vice president of the country,
I did not make any variative statement about what I saw.
When you saw that, that's a beauty. That's a beauty. That's what we need.
The EPS were behind her with guns. The EPS. They were behind people with guns. You saw the video.
Okay. We read a lot of people.
You saw the video.
Look at that.
We can put, if it's okay with you, Mr. Fagon, we can put the video on our Spoon page. Let people go ahead.
Let them go. Please put it there.
Thank you very much. Let's move on to our next event, printing event that happened in today. Am I protected?
The president called on Yamasoko, he lead a trouble beer. How you get nomination before you get party? We had a man I get nomination before you get party.
I think we'll have a show for peace talk for the two guys then, but I really continue the show, yeah.
Thank you. That's
okay. The man got nomination before you get party.
In a classroom setting where students are talking, we are just taught to be quiet, and then everybody started bringing in. So, anyway, let's move on to our next segment of the show. James, could you please help me by showing what happened with Yeka today at the Capitol Hill?
Saying as long as they allow CDC to pass it from there, when the opposition movement will pass there, or the precedents can be set, then there'll be no.
So Charles Brown is the head of the workers, the Senate staff, the head of the Senate staff, alongside Honorable Yekewa Koduba.
So we are here, and officially campaign have been open. We're calling on our people all around Liberia to carry on the campaign. Vote, go and encourage people to vote for the opposition. Yes. And like I said, and let me say it again, very soon we'll have one ticket. No, and that is what the ruling party do not want. They are afraid. You see, Pastor, we are going before the pulpit where he's already talking about how God will bless people. But you go before the pulpit, I know you took spark or you go hard, you dare gossip about people. The house of God is not to gossip. Bishop Winkelson has become an embarrassment for him to allow Pastor Weir to go in a church to be carrying on gossip. I'm surprised of Bishop Winker. I mean, I want to investigate a bishop, how he got that bishop tattoo. I need to investigate it. Maybe he call it another way.
The Liberian people are concerned because.
Wow. Honorable Koluba, if you are listening, we would also like you to come on to just give us a brief discussion about what happened today. We want to hear from the horse's mouth. Wow. I'm going to start with you again, Tomalin Nawolo George. What's your reactions? What's going on here for you?
Well, you see, Honorable Koduba, he's an opposition, and he said, I know when I spoke to him, he said that what happened on Saturday was campaigning. It was in violation of the election laws and so forth, and that you're going to retaliate. You're going to also go ahead and send a protest. I mean, put a poster up with Cummings and Boyka picture up, and because the same thing happened on Saturday, and he followed through with his plan, and he did it. And but all I see is that he put in the NEC to test now. That NEC they cannot be a toothless bulldog. They have, if they want to institute the rules and regulation of the election laws, it should be forthcoming. I know the issue of warning, but if you say campaigning starts August, stand by it. And if NEC felt that CDC violated the election laws on Saturday, they should immediately come up with a statement on Sunday or on Monday, calling out the CDC but violating election laws. So Yeke is saying that, okay, I will do the same thing, and so he did it. And so he said, NEC, if NEC says anything, then he calling them out, exposing them. And I think even I heard a VOA interview this morning too with the information minister. Mm-hmm. Defending the CDC the program on Saturday. But Yeke just did what he had to do, and he did it, and now he has done it, because we saw posters of CDC, the president picture all in the street on Saturday. So he did the same thing. So let's see what NEC will say now, because it's like tag for tag.
Yeah, so okay, Kef Hassan, your thoughts on what Yeke did today?
Besides Yeke rhetoric, Yeke want to put poster up. Yeke, that's what and we are living in a democratic state. That's the right. That's Yeke right. Yeke can put that picture, not harming nobody and killing nobody. You want to put it there, he can put it there. That's Yeke right. But the president picture was put there because of the SONA. So it was not a campaign. That place is not a campaign place. The president went there to speak, and they put it there. It's different. And putting pictures on the streets, that's the first time in the history of Liberia you ever see a picture on the street. That's the first time. Front over to do. That's the first time. Sometimes people can act like that the first time they ever see picture on the street. You remember when president will pass, they will take us from school and put us on the line to stand up on the road. You remember that? It ain't happy to none of y'all. Y'all sit down. It ain't happy to none of y'all that they will take us from class and stay on the road while president passing. especially
Especially
especially if they have a foreign president coming. Yeah, remember all that. But then folks will call it that the first time in history to see those things brand new. Oh my goodness! But again, what Yeke did to put picture and say campaigns dying, that's the beauty of living in a free country. Living in a free country. I can see today that Yeke is not holding gun like he used to do, but now he holding placard and putting it there, and he channeling his disagreements in a civilized way. Let's put his rhetoric aside, because his rhetoric are not civilized. And see, I think his name is Charles Brown, who got 2 votes in Bomi, who JMB raised his hand in Bomi, and he got 2 votes in Bomi, and we all know that. And then you see them jumping, they dancing, nobody taking them for on the street. That's the vision of George Manewia. That's under George Manewia. That's what sedition in the last government was beaten to do similar things. Sedition were killed, and we got the video for doing similar things like that. Want to stand up and do similar things, chant, then they were killed. Our political leader at that time, George Manewia, almost got killed. They're there, the tape's there. We can play it. I have it. We can play it and see what happened to sedition. But under George Manewia, people cursing him, they're dancing, they're doing that. Nothing happened. What a great day. That's the country. That's what George Manewia wants. And hey, that's the beauty of having a country under George Manewia.
Thank you. Minister Fagon, please.
You don't see the president picture also on the podium. You don't stand outside to welcome president, even we're visiting head of state. Look, let me say to the Liberian people, a state visited by another president is quite different. An Independence Day celebration is quite different. This is the first time in the Republic of Liberia that I have known all my life. I don't know about another country next to, but I say Liberia. This is the first time a political party drenched our nation's capital ahead of campaign with the standard bearer photo. It was illegal, it was wrong, and it was insanity at the highest level. Let me be clear. A state visited by another president, August 24th, July 26th, is not the same as a Saturday where a political leader of a party that does not exist by law goes ahead and drench our nation's capital from 5th grade all the way to ELWA. They say, oh, it got past the party headquarters. It was all over the place. Was it a state visit by another president? No. Was it July 26th? No. What holiday was it? What specific day was it? It has never happened in our country before for a political party to do that. And so what you saw from Yeke, say what you may. Why did Yeke say from today campaign open? Because President Weah had violated the law. He has started campaigning ahead of everything. He accepted a nomination at a political rally for a party that did not exist legally. And he put his pictures all along the streets and billboards. And he changed his parties. Everything was available. The reason why they did not say, back in the day, some people want to talk about back in the day. The reason why they did not say kink is because they had done it. So how do you stop Yeke now? And look at Yeke. Yeke did not put his own on poll. Yeke went and placard on the Capitol building. So how do you talk to a man like that and say you are in violation? How? When the president, who is the chief law enforcement officer, violated the law and started early campaign for a party that does not legally exist. And to prove it, the first video was not shown here. If you had listened to the comments in that video, which is very short, which will be my closing video, you will see that it further expresses what I'm saying here, that the party did not exist. The vice president with her own mouth confessed it. And now she said she's waiting for the president for them to put all the mechanism into place. So what the two people signed on that paper, if you're waiting for Joria to come for you to put the mechanism into place, what the two signed. So Yeke saw early campaign for an illegitimate party, and Yeke followed suit. Whether you hate him or like him, he did what he had to do.
Thank you very much, Minister Facon. Dr. Peabody.
Look, Yeke will always be Yeke. And but if there was, I believe, the election commission, if there were campaign laws were violated, I expect the election commission to come up and talk on it and speak about it. You know, but I'm listening to Lecture Who Renning on an interview with BBC. I mean, Voice of America. You know, he said that the president announced that he's running for the second term, and they re-nominating him, and you know, they put the flyers and everything up and stuff like that. But if campaign laws were violated, I expect the NEC to come up and say it, that it was not the right time or something was violated. I expect them to come up and say it. But you know, but Yeke, it's always Yeke. He's different. He's moved in his own way. He does things the way he wants to, you know, and he has his own peculiar way of doing things. So that's Honorable Yeke Koluba. He's the band, but he's here now. So I think we all will look to him to share with us what he was trying to portray today.
Absolutely, Dr. Peabody. We're going to afford Honorable Koluba to express what was going on today at the Capitol Hill. But I want to just say something quickly before we turn our attention to Honorable Koluba. So there's something in the campaign law that says parties should not abuse state resources. Okay. I consider the Capitol building state resources a state resource. I consider the polls in Monrovia as state resource. I consider the EPS officer as a state resource because they have been paid, managed, kept up by the Liberian government. So if we're going to afford CDC to use the polls, the Capitol building, then we should afford that opportunity to other political parties. That's number one thought that I had. Number two, I heard Lecture Revenue Minister Rennie said that they didn't use the word vote. So I think it'll be interesting to see what NEC will say, will view this. They're saying that they didn't use the word vote. So that means that they were not running a campaign.
But it says don't use, you said don't abuse.
Actually it's don't use, but I'm actually, in my word, I say abuse because it was abuse to me, but don't use.
so you kind of play with the words to Liberian people.
I'm allowed to do that. Am I okay? Do I need permission to do that? Thank you very much. Honorable Koluba, welcome to the show. Tell us what happened today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being on the show. Let me say good evening to everybody on the show. Good evening to the Pop District number 10. Good evening to the Liberian Poor and my supporters. Dr. Richardson, the president is not campaigning. We are not campaigning. We are not using the word vote. We say elect the opposition. Do not re-elect Ambassador Weir. Dr. Richard said, look, don't let the people waste their time. The money I get, the money I want get it. Election Commission will talk. Start next week. I'm printing it. You saw what Ambassador we are there, right? They put his pictures on all the laboratory, right? Start next week. And one good thing, let me tell you people today, I got access to everything on my own. I got my welding machine. I got my truck. I'm putting it over my truck next week. I will start putting my political little flyers on the poles. We'll be wearing it. The word Ambassador we are on. We will wear it on the pole that government property. I don't need to ask anybody for assistance. The proper I need your support. To all our diaspora supporters, you're giving the support. Let me show these people that they don't know how to run campaign more than us. Dr. Richardson, starting next week, I'm starting from ERA Junction. When I put Ambassador Boaga picture, so I'll put Mr. Kume picture on the side. We will not put a vote on it. We say elect. We're not saying vote. Then we'll see why. No, election commission did not talk yesterday. When they talk today, they will face me and they will feel me. Dr. Richardson, watch and see. I don't need to ask anybody permission to put anything on those levels. I got my own welding machine. I got an electric welding machine. I got a generator machine. I just need to take it out from my place and put it over my truck like I did the morning. We will go from place to place, putting our political leader flyers up. And nobody can do nothing to me. I challenge them. Yeah. Nobody will ask me no question because I'm not putting it to Joe Weir house. I'm not putting it to Kev Hassan house. I'm putting it on the public poll that Ambassador we are putting on. And when my picture any of the poll that Ambassador we are picture on, when I put my picture in loss, I will put Ambassador we are picture down. If my own can lose, the woman lost. If the own remain there, I will put it down. That's what I told the speaker. I said my picture that I put here, when it lost, if I don't put that banner down, that Ambassador we are on, don't never respect me your left. That's how I see. I dare them to put my political leader down. I dare them. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Bovatima, Bolegato Opon, I dare you to go put my to put my banner down. If I don't care, press button tomorrow and tear Latin are there. Don't never respect me your left. Let me say this for free. No, people making fun. No, the money people get, the joking with a year, Ambassador, we are dancing the day I get that money. Ambassador, we would not make music because I will keep it busy. When you put one, the day they put flyer to that mansion, I will put my political leader on the flyer there. The public area there. And I challenge them to put flyer there. If I don't put flyer to that place, that I register your poor phone or your phone will eat it. They put it for all.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Kaluba.
Y'all watch out next week. I will start putting Joseph Wanga picture so, I put Kume picture so. For either Joseph all the way to town. I will be on my wedding machine. I'll be saying that I'll be wedding it on it. Let me see somebody open their mouth to me. Why you didn't open your mouth when I put it open on there? Like my political leader, let me open your mouth. No, they try it. What is supposed to get it, will get it.
Thank you, Honorable Kaluba. Thank you so much. We are going to have our panelists ask you questions. I must admit, you demonstrated bravery this past couple of weeks. We heard you during the State of the Nation address doing something that was very unusual, chanting your political leader's name. I've never seen that before since 1847. And then we also saw you today. We saw that you have mounted 2 banners up on the Capitol building. I don't know how you did that. I don't know if people watch you when you're doing it, but I thought that was brave. I've never seen that either. So I see that, yes, Honorable is here. Honorable, I was just admonishing your bravery because you did 2 things that we never seen before. You were chanting your political.
I got the people Liberia support. The only thing I want from the people in the diaspora, now you send money to me, I will not call your names. Let me keep them in feet to the fire. Okay. Let me start what I can do. No, anywhere monkey that I home, we can't be afraid of the country. People will not put the vote. Who will put flyer up? I will put my political leader flyer up. When you put my own down, anybody who I will put it down.
Okay, thank you. Honorable Kaluba, we're going to give our panelists an opportunity to ask you at least 1 or 2 questions. Start by Tamale Yawala George. Tamale, what you want to ask?
Honorable Kaluba, good to see you again. You I know you put Ambassador Boyka and Mr. Cummings picture up. So And then you said that at the end of the day, you will have a united opposition. I mean, are you involved in trying to put them together right now, like working behind the scenes to put them together, or are you in touch with both of them, Cummings and Boyka?
Sintimone, everything is possible when it comes to politics. So now I know that it's possible because look, we need to put LeBron put interest first. If I put in my own interest first, Sintimone, tell me that money, man. Let me tell you the truth today. Tell the money again. The speakers cannot get it. Tell them the money again. The speakers cannot get it. But we need to put the LeBron first. We can put our own interest first. You understand? And I know they put our political leaders. They are not putting their interest first. They are putting the LeBron interest first. I know they will reconcile themselves, and the opposition will come together. I don't care who go first. I just need a ticket that I can campaign for, so we can start to kick the dust. We need to kick the dust. The dust, the post started the dust already. What are we waiting for? What are we waiting for? We shouldn't touch the LeBron hope. If you put out I will declare my intention. I will run for presidency 2020 in the year.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's go to Kef Asa. Kef, do you have any questions for Honorable Yeke Kolowa?
You know, what happened on Saturday? The people that came out, and I understand the anger from Honorable Yeke and others. I understand the anger. You know, it's hard for you to, for 5 years, you bash this president, you say a whole lot of stuff, and then you witness the nomination of the president, and you saw a blue tsunami, multitude. It will make you angry. So I understand the pain, the agony that Yeke is going through. I do understand the agony, because you talk, and the people say, no, we cannot buy that. We know better. So what happened on Saturday? What happened on Saturday? That's why you're saying Yeke displaying the anger, because it's very difficult to tell the world lies and the people not buying it. You get angry. So and I also understand Mr. Cummings' anger, because he had a tire suffering rally. The people cannot even go for his t-shirt. He had t-shirt in the sky. They had a t-shirt. Nothing. So I understand the frustration of Mr. Cummings, because nobody's not buying into that rhetoric. So to see the first-time voters, the young people, sedition, we are sharing, everybody, Liberian people, the market women, the average Joe, the regular guy out there, the passion, people crying.
Kefa-san, do you have a question?
To see that, I will not put a question. I just say something that I'm not going to ask question.
Okay.
To see all that, guys. So I understand the frustration coming from Cummings and coming from Yeke, because they cannot pull crowd, and I dare them to pull crowd like that. And see, I dare them. You saw what coming out of this street. Let me tell you something. Lastly,
okay,
Yeke is afraid of his position. He know that when people left from District 10 and flood out that stadium, Yeke is afraid. My brother Yeke, goodbye.
Okay, Honorable Kolowa, I see on the phone. I was going to give you an opportunity to respond to Kef's stick. Honorable Kolowa?
No, I don't want to respond to Kef.
Okay, great.
I do not want to respond to Kef. Look, Dr. Richardson.
Yes, Kef, please respect it. Yes, Honorable Kolowa.
Am I protected now?
You're very protected.
Dr. Richardson.
Yes.
Kef is not relevant in anything in the Liberian politics. You understand what I'm saying? I'm going to announce a same wave number.
Yes.
Let the people send me their support so they can see what will happen. We're not fighting war. When they put one banner in front of the marshal, we'll put 3 banner there. When they put one banner, I'm going to send the same wave number to what the man is saying. So you can put it up. We need your support. That the registry. We need your support. That thing I did it with my own resources.
Yes.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? I did it with my own resources. If I get more, I can do more than that.
Okay.
We don't need to embarrass our political leaders. They got problem to think about. So most often I do my own thing. And this time around, I need our people's support. I need that registry.
He need to make that disclaimer. He asking Spoon to support him.
I heard that he said he's going to put a 10 wave up, and people in the diaspora.
Can I talk now?
There's a few people who. I didn't hear you. Kev, I didn't hear you.
That's what he just said it. He said somebody should put it up.
He said that he's going to ask Kev. Honorable Colbert said he was going to put his 10 wave.
Can I talk now?
Well, he asked him totally to put it up.
Support. And people, some of the viewers, Kev, please don't speak like that when I'm talking. Some of the viewers did ask him for his number. I'm sorry.
I don't want to say my number. I don't want people to deal with me directly. Because sometimes when people deal with me directly, they think,
you're about to campaign for right there on Spoon to do a campaign. Things that you accusing the president of you using a private Spoon that's supposed to be independent and using it to campaign. Wow.
Okay.
So can I go ahead now?
Please work on your number. Your viewers are asking for your number, your SendWave number.
I will put a number up.
Yes.
Let me say this to Kev. When it comes to politics, my brother, that's what they get into my politics. What I have benefited from Waterspoon, I have said it in press conference. And I want money for him now. He will send it for me. I don't have to ask Spoon. I can call him. He will send me what I want. I have never asked him about anything. He said no to me.
Honorable Yeke, let's get back to the topic, okay?
No, I just want to make that clear to
some of the viewers. Kev Hassan.
For a campaign.
Hassan.
Who should not be collecting money for campaign?
Kev Hassan. Thank you very much. Minister Fagon.
As soon as you start to do it, I will log off. Seriously. This platform to campaign, I will log off.
Minister Fagon, please, any reaction to what happened today, to what Honorable Colbert just said? Thank you.
Yeah. Just because you're in the House of Representatives, I can't ask you. You from Sierra Leone?
You my boss man.
You from Sierra Leone?
No. I'm not coming out.
Yeah, like brought putting talking here. Collect money, like brand put give money, yeah. And I brought Bene talking.
Yeah.
Collect the money, yeah. Guy. I said if I get small thing, I'll put it there, yeah.
No problem.
That's all I want to say.
Thank you very much. So, Honorable Yeke Colbert, thank you for telling us what happened today, giving us your perception, your views, your experience today, what happened at the Capitol. Again, I think it was quite brave of you to do 2 things so far, something that we've never saw before. At least I've never seen it before, which is to get up and chant your political leaders, as you call them, names in the Capitol building during the President's State of the Nation address. And then today you went and mounted banners for your political leaders. So again, thank you for doing that. Some of the viewers are asking for your number, your SendWave information. So we'll definitely find a way to present that to them. Okay, thank you. We're going to move on to our next comment, our next segment of the show. this is about the corruption that happened in Margibi. We talked about it a little bit, and I want to check in with James a little bit to see if he has the video ready. So, and actually,
Please, I want to leave your show. Can I end now?
Yes.
Can I give my closing?
Yes, please give
statement?
me a close.
Because I mean, I want to start meditating on what I will start doing from tomorrow to next week.
Thank you very much.
I want to leave your show.
Thank you.
Okay. Let me say this to the Liberian people. The government took the people money and used it for the program on Saturday. They took the road for money, again, they have used it. They went in all the money in our place for those counties. They took it and used it. The government spent up to $3 million just for Saturday. There's an organization, NGO. There's an NGO, they have press conference. What the people name? I just forget it. They said the government should put their money back. The government took the road for money and have used it. All the money that the concession company put for those counties, they took it all and used it. These people are just become an embarrassment to the country. I challenge them to prove me wrong. They used 3 million plus just for Saturday. Just for Saturday while the Liberian people suffering. You think we're going to entertain anything here? You think we are going to be afraid? Look, I have decided every day when I talk to my children, I just from talking to them and my wife, I say, if you don't see me tomorrow, I'm gone. Somebody need to stand for the country, and I have resolved to stand for the country. That I really watch the process next week and see. Let me get what I'm supposed to get. Let me put on my flyers, and let me start my process next week and start moving from here to the junction. Because I'm going to move on my team, park my truck, the welding machine there, we're welding our political leader, flyers on the pole, and we're moving. Those are government public posts. When they pull it in for the marshal, I'll put my political leader there on there. I dare them. I dare them. I dare them to put one open picture, campaign picture, 2023 picture in for the marshal. If I don't put my political leader on there, anywhere you see me, you're coming crazy, man. Thank you. Let me say thank you to my supporters, to the people of District number 10. And our supporters out there, we need your support and we'll give you the result. Thank you so much. I'll see you for good night.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Koluba. Thank you for coming here again. All right, there you have it. My colleagues, Honorable Koluba told us what was behind his thought process when he mounted posters or banners up at the Capitol today. Any final words, any final comments that you'd like to share about what happened today? And before we go to our next segment, I'm just getting James to cue in the video for us.
Yes, that reason, look, let me tell you, the NEC they should be blamed for everything because, look, until they can enforce the election laws, people, I mean, the people will continue to violate it, and that be perhaps the only way they will enforce it when everybody's breaking the law. Because if you come up with the laws and I think a couple of years ago in 2005, if I'm not mistaken, I think either when Councillor Sherman was running for on lab ticket or something like that, or the alliance, something you're running on. I think the NEC at the time, headed by Francis, who was that? Francis Johnson Morris. I think NEC chairman at the time. They fined them for campaigning outside the election law the election calendar, and they were fined, I think, hefty sum of money. So until that can happen, people will do it, because NEC gotta have their own strength to, when they say something, they should mean it. But for instance, the issue about the people when the laws that in our own setting now, where the government officials shouldn't be campaigning, shouldn't be in campaign mode or so, but people are doing it, so nobody's taking action on it. So that's what's going to happen. So until they can put the authority, people continue to do it. So that's where we are with it,
Yeah. So we know that they sent a warning out today. So, that's a good point. Ultimately, we're going to see what they're going to do in the coming days. They are being tested right now. And Yeke is actually putting their feet to the fire in terms of their rules and policies. All right. So, James or Nelson, can we play? Were you guys able to find the leaked audio tape of what I call Magibi Gate, where the person in charge of healthcare was asking vendors not to be bribed. And this actually prompted a response relating to corruption by the United States government. Are you there, James? Did you find that? Let me just check the back a little bit. Okay, James just responded to me. He did not find that audio tape. But again, Tourmaline, do you have that release that came out by the United States government in response to what happened in Magibi County? I know you sometimes, you're my historian on the show. That's why I'm going to you.
Let me see. Okay, I know I put it in the chat room.
Yes, you did. You did. I just wanted people to, again, get some historical background as to what happened precisely in Magibi County regarding the healthcare. The person in charge, can't even remember his name right now. He was basically asking vendors not to accept bribe, that they should do their job without accepting bribes. And because of that, the United States government put out another notice regarding the state of corruption in our country. Know that the last time we talked about it, Kev was actually proposing that the government took a step they're investigating, and others were saying, why does the government always have to wait? They're always investigating and we don't have any conclusions to the investigation. So there's two schools of thoughts that are going on here. The government is investigating. The second school of thought is, why does the government always have to wait? Why can't they be more preemptive, proactive in decreasing corruption in the country? Why do the American government always have to sort of kind of ding us a little bit about corruption? So as we wait to get that alert, any thoughts on that? I know Tony is busy looking right now. Tony, you want to just give your thoughts on that? I know you're looking, but if you can't find it, that's fine. We'll just go to our last topic.
Concerning that, about the U.S. government warning us about the funds. You know, the U.S., they are very, very, when it comes to the taxpayer funding, they take it very seriously. They're against the funding being misused. And so it just, I mean, if the Ministry of Health, as the release said, that it acted swiftly in intervening in the situation, but it's very important that action be taken. Like, you don't just play with people money. I mean, that money that we're talking about, so that money you are paying taxes for, that money that goes over there, you know, we pay taxes here, and you know how the people can come to the taxes, they don't take it for a joke. They when they send the money, especially nowadays, when they come to foreign aid, before they send money to a country now, they debate it seriously, and they want to ensure that the taxpayer dollars are being used for the intended purpose, to the benefit of the people and not for few. And so it's only hope that the Ministry of Justice will take action on it and immediately investigate, so that they can find out, the U.S. government can understand what happened to the funding, and so they can bring action on it. But up to now, we have not heard about any suspension or any arrest. So we're looking up to the Minister of Health and the Minister of Justice to give the update on it.
Definitely. Thank you so much. Kev Hassan, let's go from Tony, Kev, Fagon, and then Peabody. Kev Hassan.
It is clear here that the U.S. government appreciate the swift action by the Ministry of Health to make immediate change while investigating the matter. They're telling the Liberian people that they appreciate the swift, I underline that word, swift action by the ministry to make a change and why the investigation. So that means the government on top of it, unless people want to twist it. But I think this is straightforward. Appreciate the swift action by the Ministry of Health. So it's there. You can find that all over the world. To your question, why America have to wait, you can find that all over the world. It happened. Things happen. So, but what you do, that's what matter. And they're saying here, the swift action by the government. But folks who want to say, oh no, they're not saying, but let's underline the word swift. Just like they did it so quick. They take action, they're on top of it. So I think that's what we should be commending. They pick it up. What they're saying, they appreciate. They're happy, they like it. It's swift action. That should end the story. But hey, folks don't want to twist it. You can twist all you want to twist it, but you cannot change the swift action by the government. You cannot change it.
Okay, I'm going to read, Minister Falcon, before I get to you, the statement of concern regarding reported misuse of U.S. government funding. This is why we're here. We are here to provide information to Liberians. This was came out by the United States government. It says the United States mission to Liberia expresses serious concern. People say they got plenty of concern about the report in the February 2nd, 2023 edition of Front Page Africa newspaper. Kudos to Front Page Africa regarding the misuse of funds. Again, we're back to misuse of money provided by the United States government. We rely on this government to provide funds for us. And they are concerned that the money that they give for our own good was misused. And it says that this money was supposed to support healthcare for the people of Magibi County. If you live in Magibi County, the money was for you. We have a special responsibility. The reason why they are concerned, as Timothy said, to ensure that money provided by United States taxpayer for the benefit of the people of Liberia, including the people of Magibi, is used for its intended purposes. So they want to make sure that when they come here to America and they ask the people for money, the people who paying the taxes to send money to us, that we should use it for our own intended purposes. It should not be used for bribery, for corruption, to go into somebody's pocket, to make somebody else rich. So that all the people say they're very concerned. This is not the first concern. The second concern, this is one of their concerns again. So they said that we commend the investigative journalism, Front Page Africa, again, kudos to you, that brought this story to light, and appreciate the swift action by the Ministry of Health to make immediate changes while investigating this matter. Immediate changes while investigating this matter. We don't know what the changes were, but it's mentioned by the United States government that they made changes. Even though the people said they are concerned, changes were made. We don't know what these changes are. The USAID mission to Liberia will decide, okay? Even though we made swift changes, they are telling us that they will decide to retain Magibi because of this corrupt action here, all right? Now we got the United States government saying that they will decide whether they will keep Magibi as part of the USAID government agreement, pending a transparent investigation. So they're waiting. So this swift action that we're taking, they're still waiting. They want the investigation to be open, to be transparent. So when they get a result, or when they see how the investigation going, then they will sit down there and say whether they will keep the people of Magibi. So because of somebody's action, the people of Magibi, the people of Liberia will have to suffer. That the English are speaking will have to suffer. Okay. So associated action to hold accountable anyone involved in the misuse of any U.S. funds. So the U.S. is saying no longer you're just going to come and tell us you are investigating. They want someone to be held accountable, and that's what they're looking at for. You're not going to come in other cases and say, oh, we are investigating, or people will resign, or what have you. They are not saying to the Liberian people that we are waiting to see what actions that you take. That is what the American people said to us. This came out of the U.S. ambassador, the U.S. embassy in Liberia. I just wanted to bring this news to you from Spoon. Thank you. Honorable Fagon, your thoughts about what's going on before we go to our...
Honorable Fagon, can you give me 5 minutes of your time, please? Or 3 minutes?
They can only give me 2, my brother, but if you want
Okay, yeah. Okay, I
the
can imitate
moderator
one.
will let you, because
I can imitate
don't know
one.
if you say
You know,
you
you my brother.
want to say and leave.
You know what we're trying to justify why you see the baby passport. You my brother.
Okay, Honorable Koluba.
I'm waiting for you. So when you finish, I can come and...
That I just say.
Yeah.
I want you to please post the diaspora number, please, the same way number. I send it to Flomo.
Okay.
I want you to please post it, please.
Okay.
And the number in Liberia, I send it to Flomo already. Y'all please do it so I can leave your show, please. I beg you.
Okay. We're gonna put it through the higher ups, Matiti and everybody else here. And once we get some approval, then we'll put it on. But I'm just trying to also tell you that there's other people who have individually asked on the live feed, and people are texting me right now. Please send me that number in my personal inbox. I will send it to them. Okay. But for Spoon, we have to put it to higher ups. All right. Thank you very much, Honorable Koluba. Thank you for your request. Thank you. All right. Yes, Minister Fagon.
All right. You got 24 health facilities across Margibi. Usually the money contributed to Margibi is around $800,000+ US. $800,000+ US. To support family planning, maternal and child care, health, malaria, prevention, and treatment. The people sit down.
What in the world? What's that? What is that?
Maybe it's some kind of alarm.
Well, who's sending the alarm here? Who's
Okay, so let me proceed.
Oh, thank you.
So people eat the money. Let me put it that way so that people can understand it. People go buy things. You hear them on the audio, they're talking, they chocolate some of the money. And then instead of us talking about the thievery, the road, tiffy, the criminal there, people tell us, say, folks will try to speed it. What is important here is the swift action of the government. The swift action of the government, or the fact that people stole, or are involved in criminal activities, or are involved in corruption. Which one is important? The swift action the government took, like we see here before. What happened to the road fund? Government took swift action. We get it back. What happened to the $30 million stimulus package? Government took swift action. We got it. We heard anything? What happened to Madam Keita? Government took swift action. We hear anything? What happened to the bombing $5 million snow talk about? We hear anything? What happened to the Nima County $7.5 million? What came from that? 3 officials of government was placed on sanction by the U.S. government. The most swift action was taken by the president. In less than 12 hours, Madam Moderator, the president suspended the 3 officials. Less than 12 hours. Then what did he do? He said he was going to investigate. Have he investigated? No. You want me to go down a whole list?
No, we got you.
So that's why the U.S. government say, I employ you for the swift action. But if you follow that sentence, it said that you will have to take actions. It is very clear and precise on that. Because this government is notorious for letting the LSCC charge 20 people with corruption from agriculture. What happened? Nothing. They charged the people from Ledges. Government took swift action to investigate the corruption at Ledges. What happened? Zlech. They put in Buchanan. Government took swift action. What happened? Zlech. Then somebody said that and tell us, say, what is important here is the swift action. Well, we got a history of taking swift action. But when we take swift action, we don't find anything to report. It's unfortunate. So it is important to us that the money that was stolen, eating, the wake, whatever you want to put it there, the chakla, that is what is important. The reason why it is important, and I close on this note, is because it was for what? Early child health care, maternal health care, what you call the other one? Family planning, and the other one, prevention of malaria and treatment of malaria. It is important to us. Our people are dying. Then the people sweat for the money and give it, people eat it. Then you say it takes swift action. Tell legis, tell agriculture, tell they put in Bikano, tell they sanction. Amen.
Thank you. Thank you, Minister Fagon. Okay, so our next, we are at 5:50.
I haven't said a word yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, go ahead, Dr. Peabody. Go ahead, Dr. Peabody. It's your turn.
You know what? Let me say that. I just want to say this when it comes to the U.S. government money. I believe the U.S. government, you said, don't take for granted the funds that they gave up. They do their own investigation and follow up. You said we'll definitely do the investigation. The MSA will do the investigation. At least we should realize that some action have been taken. Let's see what that action will yield to. The government took quick action. Let's see what it's going to yield to. But you said we'll come up with their own investigation. And one place you don't mess around is to mess around the U.S. government money. You mess around the money, they will get you. So I can say that. So I mean that's my point.
Thank you, Peabody, and I'm sorry for my brief omission of you there. Okay, so we have all said our piece regarding what happened in Margibi County and regarding the U.S. Government's concern about corruption in our country again. Hopefully, we'll be coming back to you based on what we hear about the investigation. So our last topic that we're going to discuss today is the Vice President Booker is in the United States. We've seen him at different events. We've seen him at a church. We've seen him in someone's basement. And people are wondering, what is he doing in the United States? Is he meeting with high-level officials that will yield result for Liberia? Is he here working in the best interest of Liberia? Or is he just on vacation, which he's allowed to do? So my question to you, panelists, do you have any reactions to what you've seen so far on social media of the Vice President's presence in the United States? I know my colleague here, Kev Hassan, made a post about the Vice President's visitation to the United States. So we'll start with you, Timothy George. What are your thoughts?
Well, the Vice President, when prior to leaving Liberia, he said he was coming for, I think, fundraiser. I think to meet with some of his partisan supporters, and so he's in the U.S. And I know we have seen him at church services. He met at church service, also a Rotary, the Rotary program, and also meeting with some of his supporters. They're paying courtesy calls on him at his residence, wherever he's stopping, and we're still looking forward, perhaps, to him having some meetings with folks that some of his friends in the States. I know there's a fundraiser planned for Thursday for he'll be spearheading a fundraiser, and so far that's what we have seen so far. I don't know how long he'll be in the U.S. for, but we're still looking forward to him, his office releasing more information on his activities in the States. But thus far, that's what we have seen, and we'll take care of that because we have not seen nothing further.
Yes. So Tony, I'm just going to throw this out here. You don't have to answer this question. So some people might be wondering, like, why are we concerned about the whereabouts of the vice president? What would you say to that?
Well, prior to the vice president coming to the States, he had a health scare in Liberia. He was checking to the hospital, and he left the hospital. He went to the Unity Party of headquarters, where he participated in some activities there, and many people doubted his health at the time, but you saw him walking and saw him taking part, actively involved in his party's activities. And then he came to the USA, and with the hope, perhaps his office and his party have chosen not to discuss further about whether he seeing a doctors or whether he can be getting more advanced checkup or so. Which most politicians, when they come to the U.S., you take advantage of the advanced technology here to get the best of health checkup. And I'm sure the vice president perhaps will take advantage of it while he's here, and use the occasion to raise funds for his party and hold discussion with some other leaders and supporters. But it's people concerned because the vice president is he's a formidable force in the opposition right now. A lot of people looking up to him to be seen as the face of the opposition. Most people see it that way, depending on who you're talking to. So people are concerned about him and his activities, and that's why people are talking about him, because he's just an worker. They call him Rescue One. So Rescue One is man. So everybody got watching. Everybody concerned about Rescue One. So let's see what happens.
Thank you for responding to that question. He's a public figure. He's running to be president of the Republic of Liberia. So we are concerned about his dealings and his presence in the United States. Like, we will be concerned about George Weah. We were concerned about George Weah when he took his 49 days visit, and likewise we'll be concerned when Mr. Cummings comes to the United States, and we do ask questions about what is he doing in Washington, D.C., or anywhere else for that matter. So thank you for answering. Kef Hassan, are you here? It's your turn. Okay, we'll circle back to Kef Hassan. He's probably busy right now. Minister Fagon, what are your thoughts on this issue?
Well, the first thing I ask myself, why are they concerned about the man they rule out as dead? Their body don't move around. They say, oh, the hand died. We have to come here and show video that the hand did not die. Oh, that baby, he finished. So the only people that are concerned are the people that are opposed to JMB.
They did describe me as, excuse me, I think one time someone described me as dead man walking as well.
Exactly, and maybe that his own chief lieutenant right now, me, I'm a fair man. Okay? His own chief lieutenant Costa was the one that described him that way. But it's all politics. So I would like to focus on the now.
Okay.
Now the same man they said could not lift for his hand, could not walk, he would die. This is the guy now they're worried about where he's going. Maybe JMB was there when Jesus raised Lazarus. JMB was the next person. Because I don't see why they're concerned. Now they're concerned, they've been writing all kinds of things. Here's how they go. Oh, he went to Rotary Club today. But why he can't go to the White House? It's not about where he goes. It's about you saying he could not go anywhere. And he went to the Rotary Club. They said, oh, he can't go nowhere. Well, he went to church. And they saw him worshiping his God in church. Then they say, oh, the only church he can go to, where did I say can go to? Then now the church they can preach for on Sunday to cause their friend. He went to the church to worship. They went there to Mayflower. Now when he left the church, JMB is not a man with this big house in Jamaica or the one Jamaica resort or like Percy Yeke house or the other Percy house, that other Eugene Nangbe house. No, he's an ordinary guy. And I'm not standing up for him because I'm on his side. I'm standing up for him because I speak the truth. So he's in the house. He hears people playing pool down in the basement. He goes down to watch the pool game. What's the difference between him and the guy who can go on the football field and even take part in the counter meet and win all the trophy in the counter meet? What's the difference? He not human being too? He not supposed to go watch pool game? Is that what you're telling me? The next thing they say, oh, why he wearing slippers and socks in the house? Oh, in our winter time in America, you can't get cold. If you're in the house, I play, you're supposed to wear Jimmy Ringo boots. Now in the house, you're supposed to wear Jimmy Ringo boots. To go watch pool game, you're supposed to wear tie and kosu. I don't think so. Now, he said you are going for a fundraiser. You don't need to fight him for it. Just come Thursday in Philadelphia. You will see him right there raising his money. If you don't want to post on there, carry your own to my house. He ain't fighting you. Mm-hmm. I'm saying these things, Madam Moderator, because we are supposed to discuss national security, the economy, education, agriculture. We want to know. The Liberian people want to be informed. Every day you're picking first on the man. What trouser he wearing? Why he wearing the t-shirt? Who gave the kosu? For us, it takes away the real debate. And the reason why they do it is because they want to create a distraction from the reality that we're faced with in the country. The reality that you heard Yeke talk about, you heard you say talk about, the 11 million for the rice, the 5 million for the Bomi people, the 7 million for the Nima people, the 30 million for the Tony. We're not talking none of that. Look at the man P-shirt. Why the man color looking like that?
So, Minister Fagon, thank you for your comments. You raised interesting points.
Let's get back to the business. Let's get back to the issue.
But I'm just going to pose a thought to you. Is it possible that people are concerned because they are looking at the vice president and looking at the probability of how he could work in the best interest of Liberians? Like if he's making a trip here, if optics sometimes can mean a lot. If who's he's meeting with, is he meeting with lawmakers, negotiators, business people, where that can transcend into bringing in something eventually, should he get elected for Liberians? So that's just a thought. The second thought is this fundraising issue here. People are saying, wondering, does he have a 501c3 in the United States? One way, although there's many ways to raise funds, one way in which you could raise funds. So people are wondering, to what degree can they claim their money that they give for tax purposes and all of those things? So I'm just posting that question here, okay?
Yeah, let me just take 30 seconds to answer it. Yeah, just now he said he won't give a same wave number to somebody to gain something. That 501c business there. But JB has.
Can I just answer you, Mr. Fakon? Yeke is in Liberia.
That's what I'm saying. Anybody can pay people for money. That's the point I'm raising.
Okay.
So this man comes here to the United States, and what does he do? The JMB Foundation is well known. Remember, he contributed a jump boat on the St. John River. He gave a boat to the people there to help them cross.
Okay.
I am not his spokesperson, but the two thoughts you have learned says to me that, hey, even me myself, I can pay people for money. The other day I told Peabody, I said, you got Prince Martin and Kemi to Fair Green Lane. He carried me. So again, I'm trying to say the other one you raised again about the 501c that he's supposed to be carrying if he does that. If he has a foundation, the JMB Foundation, that has been working with the U.S. for the last 30 years, he does have one. But just to put it the other way around, and that's not you, that's just your thought, right?
That's just I'm just putting it out there.
The people that can raise the most fund are the Kumis people. Their dinner, you don't get money, you can't eat it. And when they talk about who can raise funds, no political party or political leader in the history of my country have raised more money on U.S. soil than Kumis. And the food you can eat when you go to the dinner, the carrot, small salary, and you eat one chicken because you gotta wash your weight.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Fagan.
So the Papa said he's going to the Sudanese center
Thank you.
That's where he going. And anyone who wants to help him, he'll open his arms and receive. That's what the puppet said. He going to beg for small thing. Because he ain't got a 30 million, he ain't got a 10, I mean the 11, he ain't got a 7, and he ain't got a 5.
Thank you very much.
Just got to go hustle.
Thank you. Appreciate your comment. Mr. Kef Hassan. We skip you, but go ahead. Your thoughts.
Yeah, okay. I don't know if James do have the post.
James, could you please put the post that Kef Hassan put in the chat room that he wants you to post?
Yeah.
Is this one, Kef?
Yeah, his 501c3 has been revoked, so he doesn't have it by the state of Rhode Island. By the state of Rhode Island. So what I think let me see, be revoked long. So by the state of Rhode Island. So what will happen? The fundraising that will have I think Thursday or so will be illegal.
That's a lie from hell. It will be held in Philadelphia. Each state has its own law.
This
is the state of Rhode Island, not the state of
Mr.
Philadelphia.
Papa, can you please protect Kef for a second, please? Let him finish.
You cannot say that Philadelphia is the same as
You're gonna get your turn. You're gonna get your turn to speak. Thank you. Go ahead, Kef. Finish up your thoughts.
Will be legal because when you have it, that's if you have that foundation in this country, then you can raise funds. But at the moment, it's illegal. What they're going to do is illegal. So if you don't fund it, you don't pay your dues, and to keep it, they will take it from you, and that's what happened. Let's see the next picture. So I'm not going to go into that and little bit argument on this thing. So let's see the next picture, James. So not this, James. No, James.
Go ahead. I know I need to make an announcement, so but go ahead. I'll do that. Keep on forgetting. Go ahead, James. Could you please put a picture up that Kef wants you to put up?
Okay, while James trying to put a picture up, guys, what we saw on that picture, I hope James can get it really quick. What we saw on that picture is a total, like what I said on the post, abuse. Total abuse. You bring a statement and you put him down in a basement, drinking all around. That picture there, in a basement, drinking, playing pool, jolly time. A statement. We're talking about a vice president, a former vice president for 12 years, and you treat him like just an ordinary person and just put him down with no respect. Just drinking, let him just sit there with nothing. How can anybody take such a party?
Okay, Kef.
Yeah, what? Yeah.
Please finish up your thoughts about the vice president. Okay.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
I just started that, to what you're saying. I just started.
No, we just saw two pictures. You showed two pictures.
The picture is not a video.
Yes.
I just started.
Oh, yes. I was just concerned.
If you don't want me to talk, fine. I can just stay.
I have no control over your ability to speak here or not.
Okay, but then
control over that. I have control over the time that you spend talking.
Let me be free now. Let me be free.
You're a free man, Kef.
Let me be free. I know one of the picture is your brother there. I know that's why you're stopping me. So let me be free.
Let's not be personal. Okay,
Yeah,
please.
but let me be free, man.
I've never mentioned any one of your family members on this show.
Dr. Richardson, that's not.
Let's not go there. Let's stick with the issues.
Let me be free. Let me speak.
Thank you very much, Kev. Be free. Please don't go personal with family members on the show. We speak about that in the background. Thank you. That's good. Go ahead.
God. Let me be free, man. Listen, you cannot put a statement in that kind of environment. He should be treated with respect, not putting around with booze, people drinking, getting drunk. Look at this. Look at what's happening. How can you put the picture? How can you put the former vice president in that kind of, this is disgraceful. And that's why I call on Jojo to step in. If this was my grandfather, I would be angry. Just completely disgrace. Not only that, disgracing the office of the vice president. And that's why we don't need people who would treat the country in this way. You know what that picture tells me? That's how they will run the country. Put him in the basement, in the mansion, and just do what they want to do. You can't do that. You can say all you want to say. You cannot do that. So what happening there now, that's exactly what they're going to do in the mansion. So when we come out and say, folks want to bring Joseph Ewen Buckeye, they know that he cannot handle that position. They want to bring him, put him there, to use him, to use the former VP. If anybody cannot condemn that picture,
all right, Kev.
You don't love Liberia, or something really wrong with you.
Okay, Kev, you made some interesting points. However, going and mentioning family members take away from some of the substance that you are saying. Okay, you asking questions about, does he look presidential? Does he look like someone who will present himself in the best interest of Liberia? He's a public figure, so all of those are good points. Your point about his 501c3 certificate being expired, doesn't exist, is also an interesting point. We do know that he can collect money, but he cannot collect it in the name of a 501c3 organization. I think that's what Mr. Fagon was saying. So, void of being personal, your point is...
I'm asking you that, can he collect money in that foundation?
Well, no. Let me make some clarification. Let me provide some clarification.
Every state law is different.
Let me provide clarification.
Not in the of the foundation. Okay.
He cannot collect money.
Well, let me provide
anywhere. He cannot collect money, right?
Not in the name of the 501c3.
But let me provide clarification.
Dr. Francine, that was my point. I made.
Yeah, my point now.
I
said
he went to raise fund, not in the name of
Mr. Fagon. Mr. Fagon, please hold on there. Let Tommy come and then you.
Let me make a clarification now. Mm-hmm. It takes an hour to get reinstated, just for the record. So, while it is true that the former vice president of Foundation might be
in the state of Providence, right, Rhode Island.
I mean, yeah. It takes an hour to get it reinstated. So we don't have the facts to say, well, whether it's still inactive or no. Yeah, Kev, wait. I lived Rhode Island for 12 years, Kev. Where all my kids were born.
Yes, that's true.
Let me clarify. It takes instead of Rhode Island, it takes an hour.
Go to the phone line, please.
It takes an hour to get your document reinstated. So I mean, you get it. Your filings can be done in less than an hour in Rhode Island. So we do not, and I'll tell you this too. The vice president have one of his strongest ally, who's a very experienced accountant in Rhode Island, and he worked with the state before. I think he retired now.
So
I'm coming. So that person I'm talking about, I don't think that person will sit down and a man who is highly respected by the state of Rhode Island. We'll sit down. We'll sit down. Kev. So tomorrow, so the vice president, I repeat, he got one of his strongest allies in Rhode Island, who's a very experienced accountant, and I know him very well. He worked with the state of Rhode Island. I think he retired recently, and I'm very sure that
2021.
Yeah, but Kev, we do not know whether up to now whether it was regularized, because I'm saying it takes an hour to do it.
Maybe
So
they got a new foundation.
I don't think that fella I'm talking about will sit down and allow a fundraiser to be done in with the Vice President Foundation and with an expired document. So that's what I'm trying to clarify.
Okay, thank you for the clarification, Tomlin George, and then Mr. Fagon, come in.
You know,
we're going to do your closing thoughts soon. But go ahead.
Let me take my 30 seconds on this one.
Yes, please do.
To an extent, I'm disappointed. I don't know how long all of us have been in America. And when I say I'm disappointed, I really mean it from the bottom of my heart. Each state has its own law. This man is in Philadelphia, and we're here worrying about Rhode Island. And we're sitting on this platform. We cannot correct a person to say his 501c expire in Rhode Island. Is that the same as Philadelphia? Is that what you guys telling me?
I'm sorry, I missed your question, Mr. Fagon. When you get a 501c3
in a
and
state,
it expires, no, a 501c3 is a federal certification. Okay, it's from the IRS, which is a federal government.
No, but you see,
the federal government is applicable to all states. So if
let me let you finish.
Yes, so if it expires, that means that you can't practice it in other states.
That's it. That's it.
You finish?
That's it, man.
You finish?
That's it. You couldn't waste our time with crap. That's
you finish?
it.
James put a certificate out so we can see the certificate and what the certificate says. Because a certificate was flashed and we're told something before I comment. Certificate of revocation of certificate of incorporation authority. You see it?
Yes.
Where is the 501c there?
Okay, so that's an interesting point that you raise.
James, put it down. Let me finish my own data first. Now you inside the team.
Okay.
James, put it down. In Liberia, we got what we call article of incorporation. When you go to register your business, they give it to you. Then when you do it, they put it at the EIN number there. Same in America. The other thing that is speak a all English. You read it in black and white. The 501c, I agree with you. Everybody can go all around. But clearly you see that registration is what? In the state of Rhode Island. It is not the same as a registration in Philadelphia and Tennessee and where you live in Tennessee, Philadelphia. And you, somebody, every state got their own law and their own thing. Now, as a matter of fact, to prove for the air call you could. You have my own right here. You see it? The judge gave me the form, business registration for the state of Tennessee. You have to set it in the park. I'm saying to you again, I don't know why foreigners can always want to fool us. And I mean what I say. The state of Rhode Island, you can see it. And they said exactly what they said on the certificate. Stephanie.
Okay.
The state. And let me finish our 30 seconds. Let me finish.
This is a business or it's a
wait, hold on.
It's a business.
My friend, you don't want pro your
It's a business.
Don't ask me, let me finish. You
wait,
buy your own line, you say.
Kevin, just hang on a second. Are you done?
Protecting me, oh.
Yeah, you protected. Please.
This man brought
that business.
Let's more Kev. Please, I beg you wait.
This man brought paper here. He said it was 501c. We go read it. We saw the certificate, the revocation certificate of the business of incorporation. Yeah, right there. Certificate of revocation of certificate of incorporation authority. Where is the 501c? And they say of what? Joseph Juma Parker Foundation. The man go register his foundation. You take the man registration. You bring it here. You have my own registration right here.
Okay, go ahead.
and you lie on the old man.
Hey, Fagon, that's way small now.
Why you can lie like this?
Okay, Mr. Fagon.
That's your part. A business registration is far different from 501c.
Correct.
And if you don't make that clear, then I will know that.
No. Actually, you are. Wait.
Showing the business registration.
Mr. Fagon.
They revoke the certificate of
Mr. Fagon.
Incorporation.
It's not a business.
Mr. Fagon.
It's a fund.
Mr. Fagon. I actually was speaking about a 501c3, which is what is
your
used
own different.
Yeah. I'm just clarifying for the public.
Yeah,
for most
different.
Non-profit organizations, this is the way that they collect.
That's true.
But
I'm saying he called it registration. Yeah.
That is different from let me finish, please. That is different from what Kev Hassan was referring to, which is a business incorporation. So I don't know much about business incorporation in terms of how people collect money. My business incorporation is for my practice, but I'm not for how people collect money. So wait, Kev, can you hold on a second? We're going to be closing very soon. I want us to go to our closing comments and our closing remarks. And I think it would be a great opportunity for you guys to just incorporate.
We have to clear this one.
Okay.
We have to clear this one.
Clear, and then we'll move on to closing remarks. And whatever you have to say, you have to include it.
That's your area day. You know this better. 501c3 is different for a business. 501 is not a business. It's a charity thing that you get. Your fundraiser. A business is different. He's showing a business certificate. Business certificate is where you go and make money. That business.
Who showed the revocation? Are you?
Okay, great. Let's close this show today.
Dr. Richardson, look at it. Jose Yuma Bokai Foundation.
Yes, but are they registration?
It's not a business.
They're not business. I didn't tell you that business. I said
okay, Fagon. Kev, Fagon.
Why can't you just
we have to close the show. I have work to do, so we have to close the show. Okay, Mr. Fagon, please let's be respectful. Let us please be respectful. I beg you. Let's be respectful.
501c3
Kev, let us be respectful. Mr. Fagon, let us be respectful. Tommy George, let us be respectful. We're now moving to our closing comments for the show. You have about 1 minute or so to discuss your closing comments, and then we'll just go to any programming announcements that we have to make. So, Tommy George, I'm going to begin with you for your closing comments so we can end the show. I have to run, so that's why I have to.
Yeah, so look, guys, we will be on this, look, as long as the election is still coming, with 245 days to go. We're going to see this happening, and people will be fighting for the size and so forth. Right now, people are digging up all kinds of stuff on people. Even some of us, they're digging up stuff, going behind us, looking for stuff on us too. But that's what we signed up for, and that's when in the public eye, that's what happened. But the issue that I just want to say that, we discussed a lot of issues today. But at the end of the day, I want to say it was a good show. We continue to have these debates, and we just pray for a peaceful election in Liberia. Look forward to another show tomorrow and continue the week. But let us continue to just chill and let's cool our minds and imagine the campaign. They haven't taken a tick. Boga haven't announced his running mate, Cummings having, and Taiwan and Simeon Fremont and Mandela Cooper and Hussein Kamara. All those are running. They have not announced their running mates yet, and the fighting already started. No, guys, just chill. We're gonna find out what happens in the coming days, in the coming weeks. We just gonna keep on bringing the discussion and bringing sense to the discourse. You know, so let's rock and roll, guys. That's a good show that I already seen. That's a good show. And Kev, man, you're chill, please. Please chill, please. Don't stop me getting personal, guys. You guys are brothers. Please, man. Let's discuss the issues and not get personal. You know.
Thank you very much. Kev Hassan, your closing, please. Thank you, Tamerlan.
let me say this to you. When it comes to the sake of Liberia, I don't have no brother. I don't. When it comes to fooling our people, when you say one thing yesterday and you say something today on the same issue, you have two positions. I don't have respect for you. I don't care if you are my dad. I don't have respect for anybody who says something yesterday and the same thing that you said yesterday was good, today you say it bad. We all know that 501c is different from a business registration. Intelligent people out there to deliberately fooling the people. I have no brother in that. Because those kind of things that make Liberia today where Liberia is from the time Liberia were better. Those lies, deliberate lies, brought Liberia today. That some of us lose our family. It's not good. I have no brother. Can you take this thing out?
Can you please remove,
distraction.
Kev is speaking. Please remove this.
It serves as distraction, please.
It is serving as distraction.
Reinstatement.
Okay.
It serves as distraction.
Kev is protected, please, Mr. Fagon.
You see, I don't think a spoon was created to pump lies into the vein of people. Because by the way I see it going to put lies, I think it's heading the wrong direction. You see, Tomoli, we have to be honest. Whether they reinstated or not, the argument is too different. The fact that our own sister on this platform cannot say openly, clearly, and say it's a two different thing, it worries me. It worries me.
You're Mureti.
Arrest.
Okay, you rest your case. Thank you very much.
So
rest his case. You're Mureti.
yeah, moving on because so the Vibrant Foundation was reinstated April 25th last year. So it's reinstated.
Thank you, Tomalin, for making that announcement. We always want to present the correct information to Liberians here. There was a question about whether the foundation is active.
I hope you're looking at company up there.
We are now saying that somebody presented that the foundation is active. It was reinstated. Minister Fagon, it is your turn to do your closing thoughts, and then I will also make my final thoughts at the end of the show. Thank you so much.
I made him run away again.
Can we just talk about the closing comments here?
Yeah, like the closing comment. You heard what the man said about me. Pumping lies into people's vein, and we come here to do this. Liberians.
That is people we need to be talking to. Thank you.
It's sweetheart. It's sweetheart. It's sweetheart. Now
you got crew blowing you.
I got crew blow. It's sweetheart.
You're not from Addington, okay?
I'm from Addington, Georgia Road West. That's why I don't joke with anybody coming from across the Manor Road to come tell me stories.
Go ahead.
You see right there, Dr. Francine, the reason why I said so, if you look at the document that was presented to us as a 501c, the state of Rhode Island is just a less than one paragraph. So yeah, it reads, the undersigned as Secretary of State of the State of Rhode Island, and by virtue of the authority vested in her by 7457, 7666, 712 1311, and 712 1415 of the Rhode Island General Laws hereby revokes the certificate of incorporation / authority of the above named entity to transact business in the state, period. That's why I challenge Bobo. I say, show me whose side they get the 501c. Show me whose side they get them. You put the man's certificate of incorporation, which is business stuff. You can see that it says company, Joseph Newman Foundation. You took it, you put it up. You lied to the Liberian people. And you specifically said the man 501c is revoked. 501c, no. This is the state registration of the entity. And they put it there, E-N-T-R-T-Y. Yeah, right there in the Sony. That is the registration of the entity. And Kev Kenya and lied to the Liberian people. And I take serious exception to that. Stop lying in our politics on our officials. Now, having said that, you said we should close.
Yes.
Let me take 30 seconds to say this.
Thank you.
Dr. Francine, I appreciate you. Tomalin George, Dr. Peabody, even my little brother Kev. But you know, when this situation occurred with the CEO, everybody said this platform was going to go down. And you said, we are Liberians. It's true, one of our own is affected by this. But how do we let our people go without information? So you stepped up. And I came and I said, no one will take me from here. As long as we're talking about Liberia, let's continue. Today we hit 5,006, 5,007. We're still the biggest platform. And that is what Spoon is about. Some of us could have cut our tails and ran away. And you from the ANC, Tomali say he independent but questionable. And then you got Dr. Peabody. But I am here. And I know that as long as we remain here, we'll debate the issue. I say kudos to you. And I say thanks to my fellow panelists. Kev can insult me from... I don't really want to be on the platform, to be honest. Because I don't like dull people, honestly. And yes, he say I'm a drunkard. I say he dull. Because you can't read something, then you can't say something different. The Liberian people deserve better. And Liberian people, I want to say this to you. When you see us sitting here for 3 hours, right now, Tomali won't go somewhere and I know where he want to go. Dr. Francis says she's rushing. I myself got to go. But why do we sit here? We sit here so that we can debate, so that you can decide. Don't bring Kev. Kev holding his side. I myself, I will hold my side. But for now, I'm against my side. And I want to thank you, Dr. Francine, and I want to say to the Liberian people, as long as I'm here, nothing will pass. It pass, I will hold it. I'm the goalkeeper on the platform. Thank you very much. I'll goalkeeper on the platform.
Thank you. Thank you very much to our audience. I want to tell you thank you for joining us. It was a spirited discussion today. We provided you information on campaigning. Mr. Yeka Koluba was here. We talked about the use of state resources for campaigning, and we reached the issue to NET, who will be the ultimate decision maker of what is campaigning in Liberia. Do you use the word vote or elect? We also spoke about who petitioned President Weah. Was he petitioned by the coalition or the Congress for Democratic Change? This is still, to some extent, up in the air. Stay tuned. We'll be bringing more information. I expected the chairman, Bonnie, to come in and call, but hopefully someday he will come on. Lastly, we also spoke about the presidential or the unpresidential appearance of the vice president. There were some conversations about that even led up to, what is an incorporation, what is a, 501c3 organization. This one, we're going to let you do your homework or do Mr. Fargon brought some clarity. Kev Hassan brought some clarity. Timothy George brought some clarity. So that's what we do. You have homework to do. Go and research incorporation and 501c3 incorporation. Mr. Falcon hit a point, and he said, when I'm summarizing, no amount of fear, intimidation, cyberbullying, tactics, whatever you want to call it, will allow us to not speak our truth. We will continue to speak our truth. It may not sound good to you in some of your ears, but we will speak with evidence-based data behind our comments. Until we're good and ready, as they can say in Liberia, we will say goodbye from this platform or from Facebook or social media until we're good and ready. Okay? Thank you so much.
You don't want Tomali to speak to you. Ain't no Tomali always got an announcement.
Well, yeah, thank you very much. I heard there's a number that is going on Facebook. We don't know anything about that number. Please, it's not supported or sanctioned by Spoon. So there's some number. I think somebody alerted me about a fake number. So that is that has not been approved by Spoon to be on there. Lastly, we'll give the announcement to Tumali. Tumali, you have any announcements?
I just want to say thanks to all those who sent me kind sentiments. Like I said today, February 7th is the 90th birthday of my late father, Reuben George. And I know I've been getting a lot of messages. Yes, we talked about him today, and Daddy would have been 90 years old today. So we just say thank you for all the kind sentiment, the kind words you sent to us on behalf of our family. We appreciate you all. And you know, when you lose your loved ones, whenever their birthday or their death, and they have already gone to glory, you always have this emotional reflection. So today, one of the days that all of us who felt it, especially those who came in Path of Fame, we want to say thanks again to all of you, and we appreciate it. And also to my late niece in Trenton, she took a surgery, Bali Emily Weir. She's recovering, and my thoughts are prayers with her.
Yes.
And to my nephew, Hector Weir, he's president on Trini. For he's putting his life on the line for this country, wearing the uniform of this country. Baby Joe, God bless you, man. I love you. And my sister Ria, you guys, God bless you all. I'll see you guys soon.
Hector Weir was on the show before. Thank you for
you see how I saved you tonight.
And Makan, check your inbox, Makan. It's this weekend, baby.
Yes. I have an announcement. If you would like to go to Liberia to engage in civic duties to the country of Liberia, please reach out to me. I have just visit my Facebook page. I have extra information. Inbox me. Thank you.
And thank you to all the Liberian people that are telling me thank you tonight again.
One last announcement. You know, some time ago we lost Dr. Emma Sawyer, and the former interim president and also chairman of the Governance Commission. Mm-hmm. His memorial service will be held February 18th. So you have to keep on your date in the US.
Where?
We'll give more information in subsequent programs, but just keep that February. I think in the Maryland area.
You give more. Thank you. Okay, where are you coming from? We were looking for you earlier. I see you starting the show.
I came from on campus.
Oh, okay. I hope you're passing there watching.
We're doing fun up.
Send me the Gracie. Yeah, t-shirt.
I'll send it.
All right, guys. Thank you for a great show. Audience, thank you.
Thank you for the haircut.
You just won't talk.
Okay, but then you know what, Dr. Francis, you don't go. Put a two picture up.
Well, folks, we want to say thanks a lot to you out there for being a part of this edition of the program Spoon Talk. Thanks for your contributions in the comment section and everything. We'll be here, God's willing, tomorrow with another edition of the program. Same time, 8 p.m. Liberian time. My name is Nelson Collier. James Good Flomo here. Being here, good night. Bye-bye.